Sorry, probably shouldn't have coughed directly into my mic. Normally I'm pretty good about that. God, if Deliveroo tries to give me one more £10 saving. You are first, Twilight Lover. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Also, if you're wondering why the title is that way, I'm struggling. I couldn't type in anymore. I wonder how long it'll take someone to notice as well, or to make a comment. Contacts in this time. Well done. I didn't think you'd mention it that quickly. Yes, I have got contacts in, so I can see, but I kind of really need eye drops, and I don't have any, so it's a little bit difficult. No more TikTok. Is that what that means? No, I will make some TikToks, and I'm going to go back to making TikToks. I kind of got to, but I just haven't recorded them. But TikTok lives are kind of a bit of a thing of the past. I mean, I don't even know when I last went live on TikTok. Thing is TikTok lives sometimes pay really well, but they don't often. Maybe I'll throw one in a week at some point, but that's probably max. I just don't really have the drive or desire for it anymore. But yeah, Glassless Chris, which is interesting. Right, we'll do the... maybe we should crescendo with the Wordle, but I can't resist. I almost did it on my own. Did you see Taylor Lorenz on the Vanguard? No, I didn't. I haven't watched that. I don't know if I will. Look, it would be interesting to see the Ethan Klein stuff, but, you know, I'm not so sure about the rest. Someone said it's 1603 and you'll know. Sorry, Angela Merkel. Are you going to watch Avatar? I haven't seen the second Avatar, so probably not. Right, I'm going to start with something beginning with O, I think. A pine we're going to do. I don't know if I did that yesterday. Okay. Flare, we're going to try. Okay, none of those. Contacts, yes. Good morning, friends. Good morning, domesticated honeybee. Why does man always have trapped burps? I don't think I do. No more Harry Potter comparisons. Well, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to wear my contacts that often. I don't really give a shit about wearing glasses. And when they told me it was £30 a month to wear contacts every day, not a chance. Maybe like once a week, but I am not regularly wearing contacts. I might wear them out on Friday night, though, so shock the people, because I won't be recording an episode of... we normally record on Friday nights. Oh, by the way, guys, back to standard streaming schedule for a week, and then it's going to be messed up for a while. So I think you're going to have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, no stream tomorrow, because I'm not recording on Friday. We are still doing an episode this week. And then me and Isaac discussed it. We're going to do a Christmas stream because neither of us really want to prep and record an episode over the festive period. So maybe we'll do one, maybe two. I think we'll do it on No Politic here. I can't see why we'd do it on my... Yeah, we'll do it on No Politic here. But yeah. Shame. Well, shame would be good, but... what are words? So it could end in... No, it can't end in that. So it could be something like that. Shoom. Apparently that's not a word. Yeah. To Runner Now. Yeah, I think we'll have him on. I think we're gonna have Isabel Dumbertry on. I think we're gonna have Taylor Lorenz on. Maybe Hassan in the future. I've spoken to him. But yeah, it can't be Dodge again. I think that was yesterday's. I'm just trying to think of things it can end with. So it could be something like that, but... Emmy... So the middle letter is that. I was going to say rogue, but no. I think it's probably then that. Oh, wait, is it no. I want to see if it ends like that. Yeah, it does end like that. So it has to, I knew it had to be that. I don't know why I guessed that. Um, nephew looking blind today. No, I've got contacts in. I can see. What is it? Is it something like? Is that a word? Is there any words that are like that? No, I would think it would be Hague. Hague would be a good one, but it's a proper noun, but there's no A. I know there's no A in vague. I just guessed it because I couldn't think of any words. Argue, nice try, but no A or U, A or R. Wow. Nice. Matt 13451. What a guess. It still upsets me that it says the mini is free. Okay. That was really good. You got segue. I haven't done Scrandle. What is the actual objective of Scrandle? So what is the objective of this? I don't really understand. What do I do? I mean, that objectively looks better than that. I mean, it doesn't look particularly nice. That will be better than that. That looks horrible. I can't eat curry anyway. So, to be honest, that's kind of the reason it looks horrible. It may not actually be that bad. But I don't really like pie and mash and mushy peas. But the curry goat would probably be better. I probably should have clicked it. That's what I meant to do. The currywurst and beer is obviously going to win that. That's like a stupid one. But curry's obviously for me personally. That looks awful. I would rather have a Polish sausage dog. That looks horrendous, the pizza dog. Is it meant to be my opinion, or is this meant to be... Yeah. That looks way better. Well, I don't even know. The chicken quesadilla does not look good. I haven't eaten Domino's in years. Street chicken burger, it does look better, the street chicken burger, and it's better priced. Eggs with onion. That doesn't look like eggs with onion. Vegan tacos. I'm gonna guess the Bristol Rovers scran, the vegan tacos. Polish hot dog, buffalo chicken and chips. That is obviously gonna win. Oh, the ice cream. Those both look horrendous. We've done Scrandle before. Is this British cuisine? Some of it, but I mean, 45 pence for an ice cream sandwich. I'd rather pay that and not eat it. Tray of fries, double smash burger. Oh, and a can of your choice. Yeah, that's gonna win that. Okay, right. Yeah, I think it is just comparing stadium food. Yeah, tray of fries. Drum roll, Mambo number 5, rattlesnake. I cannot think of any of these things. Foxtrot, Spellbound, Songs. Is that by Susie and the Banshees? No, it's not. My left eye feels really shitty, and I don't know why. Dances. Foxtrot. What? Foxtrot, mambo. What are the others? Bellhop. Lindy hop. I be Lindy hopping all over the place. Weird question, but is TikTok or YouTube? No, YouTube is my main source of income. TikTok is TikTok is not a good source of income. TikTok, I don't really post on TikTok anymore. And I don't make any money from Instagram or anything. So yeah, YouTube's my main source of income. Yeah. Bolero is a dance. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Oh, that probably makes sense. Oh, is it the bellhop that's wrong? Quick step. Yeah, that sounds like it's more correct than bellhop. Bellhop. I don't know who a bellhop is. Broodmother, Dota Heroes, Offspring, Family. No. Offspring, Family, Brood, and then one other which I can't think of. Chimera? Is that no? I don't know. Lifeboat, Posterity, Rattlesnake. Chimera? Why am I thinking Chimera? Why am I thinking Chimera here? What is it? Oh fuck. Lifeboat, bellhop. Why? Posterity. I don't even know what posterity means. All future generations of people. Never knew that. Thanks for that one. Rattlesnake, Chimera, Lifeboat, Rope. The peasants of Kunzlaria paying taxes. Yeah, that's why I need donations. The peasants, those are your tithes. So, I had to Google what posterity meant. Yeah, I mean, maybe I did know it, maybe I had heard it, but I don't know why. I've heard the phrase for posterity, but I've never heard it like posterity. Yeah. Spellbound, Rattlesnake, Drumroll, and Bellhop. I mean, maybe you're right about that. Ooh, which is the wrong one? Lifeboat? Because what are these? What are these ones? Ooh. Or is it these two? What could be the other connections? Oh, wait. I think you've got it. Drum, bell, rattle, and one other. I think it's chime. Yes. Yes, I did that. I only pay him Freddos. Yeah, that's your tithe. Hitchcock movies. What? I watched a couple of Hitchcock movies. Wait, why can't I click down to see the results? Oh, back to puzzle. Spellbound, Suspicion. Oh, Suspicion is of course one. Sophie got it just before I did it. Right, then we'll do spelling bee and see if any of you get this. Yeah, I went beast mode. North is definitely one. Northern. Narnia. No. North's not great. Thor is another. Have you seen The Birds? No. I've seen... Wait. Hold on. Letterboxd. That's going to tell me to stop using my ad block. Which Hitchcock did I watch recently? Uh, I watched Rashomon. Um, Rashomon, yeah. Uh, Activity. Wait, I'll tell you what I watched. No, I watched the 38 Steps, which I think is Hitchcock, and I've seen another. Throne. Yeah, that is one. Yeah, I guess that's a better one than I had. Warren? No, there's no E. And it doesn't have a T. Wrath? That's a good one. Yeah, the Kurosawa film. No. I was just talking about the film I watched recently. Sorry, I didn't think Rashomon. Surprisingly, I didn't think Rashomon was made by Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, I know Worth is one. I'm looking for like a long one though. I'm looking at Narrow, but of course Narrow's not got a T. Wharton, what is in the player who plays for Manchester City? Hawthorne. Wow. Hawthorne. Sorry, I'm spelling that incorrectly. Hawthorne. Amazing. Wow. Rashomon is Kurosawa. Yes. Isn't it Rashomon? Yeah. Thanks for the shout out. I mean, Pokraj. Amazing. I mean, Worth is another that is definitely, but it's just not that long. Like Worth. I was thinking more of Adam Walton, the guy who plays for Manchester City. I mean the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Look, I know I was saying the other day that I don't believe that I don't always believe that they're a setup. That looks more like an FBI setup. I'm not gonna lie. It really does, in fact. Like, the documents are interesting. The only reason I was going to bother talking about it. I've just spilt tea on my trousers that I needed. Yeah, I know Wrath is one. People have mentioned that. Throat. I can't believe no one else got that. Throat goat. Apparently that won't be a word because we're missing the G. It's so annoying that that's all you get. Have they made the crossword mini free again yet? No. I'm not paying to sign up to the New York Times so we can do this. I wish I would, but that's not happening. So now we're going to have to do some actual stuff, which sucks, but yeah. We've got an amazing video of Kash Patel and his girlfriend to start off with. The FBI loves that kind of setup. Yeah. I think so. I'm sure that there's some way to do it for free. How did you meet your girlfriend? Online. Through Fortnite. I'm looking for a normal man. Fortnite. That's the only place to meet normal men. Yeah, Fortnite.
We are so excited to be joined by Kash and his beautiful girlfriend, Alexis. So I just want to clarify, you're not Jewish.
I'm not.
You are not from Israel.
No.
So how did we get to, are you a Mossad agent?
You know, that's a great question.
Where's her ring? Just to clarify, how often has he traveled to see you since January 20th? Has there been one moment where you're like, you can't make this up?
I, for one, am ecstatic. I am ecstatic to watch the love story of Kash Patel and Katie Miller. I mean, I'd heard she was from Israel, but I believe it's untrue.
Do you think you were successful?
We're a little bit successful. We were somewhat.
My dream is to one day reach the point in life where I can get on the Katie Miller show. I think that'll be a really good day for me. I think it's brilliant. I think, truthfully, that's the day that I know I'll made it. I cannot wait for that. Her interview with Elon Musk was fantastic.
Who do you
This was
look up to
amazing.
most?
The creator.
What's your current position on God?
God is the creator.
You don't believe in God, though, do you?
Well, I believe this universe came from something. People have different labels.
Who do you
It's so amazing. Just, I wish I was a right-wing grifter, because I could just be really, really, really racist and make billions of pounds. It seems like an awesome lifestyle to be leading. Genuinely. You're not Jewish sounds way too 1930s. No, Nick Fuentes and the online right decide who is Jewish. So, you know, this is really the best part.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Elon. So I want to take us back. It's January 20th. You are in the Roosevelt room, if you remember this, getting
Yeah.
sworn in, and
Right.
they hand you a computer and a phone.
Right, right.
I want to go back to what happened next. I think the story of Doge, from your perspective, has
It's really funny as well because her husband is like known for being an extremist, isn't he?
never been told. What was your first thought on how Doge was going to proceed?
Well,
I mean, he literally gave that
It is
speech.
utterly ridiculous.
Virtual, I can't see your full name, which is annoying. Where can I see it? Virtual Matt, thanks for the $2. Good morning to you, and thank you for supporting the stream.
I guess I couldn't believe I was there, for the most part. It's like, it all seemed extremely surreal at the time. You know, Doge was a made-up name that had been made up, I don't know, 2 or 3 months before, and based on internet suggestions. And I was going to call it the Government Efficiency Commission, and then someone on the internet said, no, it should be the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I'm like, that sounds great. So
They're also really sourceless, you know, in a podcast like this. It shows you how unfunny that any of this stuff actually is in real life. And I think that her and Elon had a fight with his husband, allegedly.
we just kind of made up an apartment.
Do you think you were successful?
We're a little bit successful. We were somewhat successful.
I love that. Like, just tearing apart, like, you know, tearing apart parts of the American government and just going, we're a little bit successful.
I mean, we stopped a lot of funding for that really just made no sense. That was just entirely wasteful. Where it would, like, for example.
Do you know as well that Nigel Farage and the Reform Party want to copy this in the UK, but all the councils they run are just doing terribly?
There was
Didn't they bang? In my head they did, so I hope so.
probably 100, maybe
Sorry, Elon had a fight with her husband.
$200 billion worth of zombie payments per year,
It was alleged, at least.
which simply by enforcing that there be a payment code and an explanation for the payment, that the payment would not go out. So we made that change to the main Treasury computer. And
I don't think 800,000 people have actually died due to these cuts, but it wouldn't surprise me if a decent number have, yes. They're all very, very, very stupid, the cuts, and they haven't fixed anything. Yeah, I know I said his husband.
a bunch of other computers. It's like, it seems like insanely obvious, but there are just, call it 2 or 3% of government payments that go out that really should not be going out.
Elon Musk is prolific when it comes to women. Like, Elon Musk has got 20 kids, even if they're conceived in a very strange manner.
And it's actually quite hard to stop.
And you say the fake intellectualism with tech bros. I think the main issue with Elon Musk is that he is a really incompetent public speaker.
It's a pretty rare individual that would ask the government to stop sending them money.
Would you ever do Doge again?
Do you mean would I repeat history, or would I?
Two ways to think about it. One is if you could go back and start from scratch, like it's January 20th all again, would you go back and do it differently? And knowing what you know now, do you think there's ever a place to restart you, not saying others in your stead, you go back and restart doing Doge?
I mean, no, I don't think so. Would I do it? I think I probably...
It's also so lame that he has a jacket that just says Musk on it. And what does he have on his t-shirt? So, like, what is this?
I don't know.
Would you do Doge again knowing what you know now?
I mean, the thing is, like, I think instead of doing Doge, I would have basically built, worked on my companies, essentially. So, and the cars, they wouldn't have been burning the cars.
You gave up a lot to do Doge.
Yeah. Like if you stop money going to going for political corruption, they will lash out big time. Mm-hmm. So they really want the money to keep flowing.
It's crazy as well that so many people still maintain that he is some kind of fantastic genius. And by the way, for anyone who's wondering, why we're still talking about him, Grok AI is going to be rolled out in public schools in El Salvador to teach children there. 5,000 public schools are apparently going to have an AI-powered education program. So more than 1 million students are going to have their curriculum defined by Grok. Yeah, you heard that right. The person who called themselves Mecha Hitler and also continually plays the, pushes anti-Semitic far-right conspiracy theories is, it's going to be defining schools. So that's some brilliant news. The El Salvadorian youth are going to be learning some amazing things. And, of course, Bukele had some beautiful quotes here. El Salvador doesn't just wait for the future to happen. We build it. This partnership is destined to deliver something rather extraordinary for all of humanity. Musk touted his partnership with Bukele on Thursday. On X, between posts about white genocide and blaming asylum seekers for crime, Musk posted comments about Grok being spread throughout El Salvador's schools. He reposted positively to a comment from Katie Miller, the wife of Trump's senior advisor, beautiful lady Stephen Miller, in which she wrote, "If we are serious about restoring education to math, science, and English, why would we allow left-leaning liberals sick AI into our schools? This unlocks non-woke educational tools for our kids." It's truly unbelievable that the world in which we live. I mean, we also got a quality video of Erica Kirk.
You know, the last person that Charlie ever spoke to was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozak. He was asking Charlie a question that day when he was shot, and he's here tonight, and he wants to ask you a question.
Hi there. Erica, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity, and I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno. And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential...
Yes, Erica Kirk is a terrible actress. I'm sorry, she doesn't come across as actually one bit sad about anything.
...person on Earth who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month, President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that turning point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry them. But any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So, in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
I appreciate your question. You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people? This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than...
This guy does suck. I think there was like an interview with him and like Channel 5 News.
Just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family. This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself. No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim of it. I'm a victim of it. But what I'm trying to...
Your husband was like one of the biggest advocates of political violence.
say here is that we can blame everyone else. We have to look in the mirror when you become a father, when you become a mother. How are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad or look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole and see what you can learn from that instead of being a parent. So my call to action from that is parents, step up.
No more iPads for the kids. You know what? This is the only sensible thing she's ever said. No more iPads for the kids. No more Minecraft. I'm not reading that statement, Gaylord Robinson. You can't say that about Charlie.
Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin? That's where we're at.
I mean, if my kid is the thought leader of a hateful conservative movement, I certainly won't be very proud of him. I'm trying to go Pilates class. That's what I do with you guys. I'm just going to get you all an iPad and you're just going to watch, like, I don't know, what's that game? Jetpack Joyride speedruns whilst I go to the gym. That's how I'm going to get more viewers. You're all going to have to watch Jetpack Joyride whilst I'm at the gym. Also, sorry, I realized I was covering her beautiful face that whole time.
Do you think our political leaders have a responsibility to turn the temperature down right now?
Well, I think everyone has a responsibility to do that, and I'm doing my part. I'm not in control of other people.
Erica.
I'm a big fan of Hasbari. I'm warming to Hasbari. I'm glad that she is a real thought leader of our time. This was the best part, though, where she did the whole Frank Lampard gimmick.
Pastor Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all
Wow. Erica. Wow.
I have to say.
It is utterly ridiculous. Charlie's ex-wife really has not many thoughts behind those eyes. Hey, Charlie, stop talking about your ex-wife like that. Thanks for the $5, but, you know, this is your ex-wife, Charlie.
Stop.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie's parents were right-wing. Sorry, Charlie's parents. Tyler, what's-his-name's parents were. And when I was talking about the Frank Lampard gimmick, I'm not sure many of you would actually know it.
You must be aware, obviously, when you're managing, you do your interviews. I don't want to say that.
Wait, I want to see if I can find it. Sorry, that's not what I was looking for.
You know, and when you become a manager, you understand that you don't manage your own club.
Oh, why is that, Oh, why is this so hard to find? There's a minute amount of people who would know what this is. Fuck's sake. I can't find it. Frank Lampard, you'll be able to find it. He goes from going like to very quickly. But I'm pretty sure Erica Kirk met Candace Owens the other day. But Candace had some... Candace had her argument with her.
Okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
So this is just, to me, I'm going to also let you know, they pre-recorded this. Obviously, I told you this yesterday from about 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. I have sources just everywhere, CBS News, the people that were in the audience I showed you were emailing me, and they had to do multiple takes because Barry wanted to read a prompter. These questions were pre-submitted, okay? And...
I mean, it's pretty obvious that the questions were pre-submitted. I think anyone could work that out. The fact that she was just like, stop, just stop.
And I would like to respond to this loaded question. What would you like to say? The podcaster Candace Owens, and I'm not even going to address this repeat talking point about people making money, except for the people that have actually made off of all of the money, millions upon millions of dollars. But this is the new thing. It's like if you keep doing what you were already doing in podcasting or keep doing what you were already doing and doing ballistics on YouTube, if you catch a bunch of views, they want to convince you that like you wake up and you turn into a millionaire. Building her business. What are you talking about? I already had this business. I was already at the top of the charts. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I actually did because it's so ridiculous. Okay? But she says, I'm lying. And Eric responds, and her answer to what do you want to say to the podcaster Candace Owens who is lying is stop. So Erica would like me to stop lying. And
where's that video gone of like Candace talking about meeting her? I mean, there is some incredible reporting on
Candace.
Watch her face closely. The moment the reporter brings up Candace, Erica Kirk's entire expression shifts instantly. What does her face tell you? Hustle, bitch.
Owens. Okay? At one time,
I'm a body language expert, and this is my job. Wow, that is epic. To be fair, watching that where she goes, I should have worked on that more for the debate with Lonabox.
And I would like to honor that. Okay, I can only honor that if Erica is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about. What did I lie about? It's just incredible. There have this opportunity. The questions have been before. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming out on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere, and I'm happy. I want to correct that. Right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together, and I can't find the lie. Okay, the lies that I find are coming out of Turning Point USA. Okay, and here are some of those lies.
Well, okay. Cool. Right, let's read these. The amazing, heroic, magnificent Mikey McCoy, who I think is like someone close to Charlie, had blood all over him. Offender Rob McCoy. Okay, so that's one lie. The magnificent Mikey McCoy called his father first. Offender Rob McCoy. Mikey McCoy was a hero that day. Offender everyone. Charlie's neck stopped a .306 bullet because he ate salad and had strong bones. It was a modern day Christian miracle. I mean, yeah, that was an insane thing to say. Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel. I mean, that's one of the people's main contentions about this, isn't it? Let's have a look. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. Alex Clark and Andrew Colvett. Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk never had any bad blood between them. I mean, that doesn't seem implausible that they had bad blood between them. Ben Shapiro seemed to have a lot of friendships and people that he was around that they had bad blood. But the one thing I'm not able to get over all of this is Charlie Kirk Ben Shapiro interview. I'm not listening to it, but you're all welcome to listen to it. One of Charlie Kirk's final Charlie Kirk shows was a discussion between Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk does push back on Israel a little bit. And he's like, oh, we push back on COVID, we push back on trans stuff, why can't we put, and Russia, why can't we push back on this stuff? And the stuff that they were pushing back on, Ben Shapiro basically just gives a long explanation of why you should still support Israel. So I remain to be convinced as to why Charlie was going to change. Did he say genocide in Gaza? Do you have a link to Charlie Kirk saying the genocide? I know he said ethnic cleansing.
You know, Mikey had blood all over him. Okay, Mikey has offered that his dad was confused. I'll accept that. Well, I didn't lie about that. Rob McCoy lied.
The only thing I will say, especially about these first two, arguments, is normally how conspiracy theories tend to operate is generally around, people being unreliable witnesses. And if you look throughout history, at almost every event, people are very bad and unreliable witnesses and get things wrong, especially if it's something traumatic, you know.
His father also said he called his father first. Maybe Rob McCoy was confused. Mikey being a hero for walking away doesn't feel honest. Charlie's neck stopping a 30-06 bullet because he ate healthy and had strong bones. It was a modern-day Christian miracle. That feels like a pretty big lie, okay? Charlie never wavered in his support for Israel was a nasty lie. Maybe Barry want to prep. What do you want to say to the people that literally lie?
Hate being propagandized. And this weekend, there was an all-out
lied about what Charlie was living through in the last weeks of his life. Stop, Josh Hammer. Stop, Bibi Netanyahu. No, I'm sorry. Barry Weiss is here. We're not going to get to that. Charlie was a committed evangelical who only liked Catholic architecture. Did I lie about that? Nope. Turning Point USA lied about that. And I was attacked for telling me. I'm attacked for catching the lies. We'll get to that later. That's their new method. Once first they accuse me of lying. Then I prove I'm not lying. And then their strategy is to attack me for telling the truth and saying, how dare you reveal a personal text message to defend your...
Oh, I remember it's you because of the Bonnie Blue joining Reform. Yeah, that's brilliant news. It's a big boon for Reform. My politics largely revolves around which my favourite British OnlyFans content creator who makes somewhat borderline paedophile content is going to be signing up with the political party. I will definitely be voting for Reform now. Thank you, Miss Bonnie Blue. I'm a lifelong conservative. I love conservatism, and I will change to supporting Bonnie Blue. Reform, not Bonnie Blue. I don't support Bonnie Blue.
Yourself from being called liar. We can keep going here. Has any of this been clarified? Ben Shapiro said they never had any bad blood between them. I proved that was not true. Again, that also came from a little PR. Alex Clark pulling that move.
I don't doubt. I think one of the things as well is that I actually genuinely do not doubt that there was bad blood between Ben Shapiro and Charlie, and that it wouldn't surprise me if Charlie Kirk was starting to notice the decision made by people like Candace, made by even people like Nick Fuentes as well, that talking about Palestine and, more having to unequivocally support Israel was a majorly negative thing for your brand. And he had, no real necessity to do it in the same way that Ben Shapiro obviously has a stake in it because he's Jewish and he just loves Zionism. I don't think Charlie had a problem with Zionism throughout most of his life, but yeah.
Next page, Terrell Farnsworth was told to remove that SD card by police. That was not true. Terrell Farnsworth personally told me that was not true. Terrell removed the SD cards because people were stealing hats. Again, ridiculous. Not what Terrell Farnsworth...
Did someone just donate? Oh, yeah. What was the point of debating Lonerbox, especially twice? Because why does it keep spamming and saying that there's multiple donations? Thanks for the $5 Inuyasha. So the main reason that I debated Lonerbox again is because the first time it just was bad. I know people would be and I don't think Lonerbox gave a great account of himself, but it just wasn't good. And I wanted to do it again. and I wanted to kind of talk about how like theory matters more than like facts ultimately. And I think it went pretty well. And I understand why you're like, oh, why would you do it twice? But I'm not going to be doing debates regularly. You know, it's not going to be a major part of my content. It keeps saying you've donated again, but I understand why people are like critical and don't love that, you know.
Worth himself told me.
What did Bonnie Blue do? Well, Bonnie Blue, like, if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is like a UK OnlyFans star. But, like, she makes videos with, like, she goes around universities in the UK doing tours, allegedly wanting to sleep with as many freshers as possible. That's literally like an 18-year-old, a fresher generally. There are exceptions to that rule. But also just, like, making schoolboy content kind of stuff. It's quite weird.
And also doesn't make any logical sense, because if you're worried about theft, you would have taken the camera and not just the SD card, particularly from the camera behind his head, as opposed to the cameras that were in front of him.
I just wonder why this went 2 times speed. I don't think I did anything.
Lie. Charlie established a Doge, and it was not unusual. That's a lie. It wasn't usual. Doge didn't even exist prior to Elon Musk making that a thing about government accountability. Charlie Kirkstein did not fly drones. Major lie. Brian Harkle told that lie. Brian Harkle also told a major lie when he said that the security had communicated with UVU police to secure those rooftops. That was a lie. It was actually a walkway behind. What am I getting here? What have I done here in this presentation that I lied about? Have I made mistakes along the way? Yes. I'm not perfect, and I will always adjust those mistakes. So I'm asking you to tell me what I lied about. Why is there not this same energy also for the feds? Because they've told some lies. We've got a list of those too. We put that together. We would like some clarity. Again, Charlie being shot with 3.6. The lover text messages mysteriously presented without any timestamps.
Also, by the way, it is amazing how, like, badly the FBI are now mishandling fucking things. But that doesn't also, part of the reason that doesn't surprise me that they've messed up so much is, why did you put Kash Patel in charge of it? It's just letting him air his recycled bullshit. I mean, in some ways, yeah, I agree with you that in many ways it's not going to change his viewpoints. I don't think debates operate in that way. But what I will say that you can do with a debate is defend your own viewpoints. But yeah, like I know what you mean. You're never going to change the mind, and the vast majority of people who go in and watch Loner Box are never ever going to change their mind. The vast majority of Ethan Klein fans have already decided about, they don't like me, they don't like my voice, they hate listening to me, they think I'm awful, so they're just going to ignore me. But ultimately, the reason I did it is because, in part, I wanted to defend my viewpoints as well, and kind of like talk to Loner Box, and I think I made quite a lot of points about it. I don't like that, especially if the 18-year-olds may not think much about agreeing to join that. Yeah, I do agree with you. Are you talking about Candace here not being as entertaining? Podcasters make the best directors of the FBI. Yeah, I think under the gruesome Gavin Newsom regime, it's going to be Adam Friedland will be in charge of the FBI. Right, let's look at the stuff she says. Said Charlie was shot with a 30-06. I don't know enough about guns. Love a text message mysteriously presented without timestamps. Those were very weird. The only thing I think that is in favor of those text messages being so strange is the guy was interested in furries, apparently, wasn't he? And he was also a theatre kid, so writing out messages like that as a theatre kid, it doesn't surprise me in some ways. Lied about how Tyler Robinson was arrested. They claim he confessed and turned himself in. I thought that it was true in the sense that he confessed to a family member?
Lying about how Tyler Robinson...
Yeah, I understand the listening to Loner Box for that long is an infliction on you that I shouldn't have done. I'm sorry about that one.
Robinson was arrested. They claim that he confessed and turned himself in. That's not what happened. That he said he was guilty. All the father said he was guilty. That's not what happened. Never revealed that Tyler Robinson was at the Dairy Queen following the assassination. He was throwing clothes away, as I presented to you guys in the cemetery. That's problematic to the timeline. We'd like some clarity. That's an oddity. They said Tyler Robinson was arrested wearing a maroon shirt. That actually was also not true. They said Tyler Robinson was suicidal.
I really don't like Candace for getting on his ass for going to Dairy Queen. He liked Dairy Queen. You know? Apparently the image is 6 hours after that he went to Dairy Queen. I don't know, though.
But also turned himself in because he was afraid of being shot by police. Those two ideas seem to be running into each other. How can both of these things be true? Do you want to die or not want to die? Maybe there's an explanation. It's definitely odd. And the footage mysteriously missing of Tyler Robinson turning himself in. And then, of course, there's just like things that we can't get answers to, which is the Egyptian planes, tracking Charlie, following Erica throughout years. Instead, they're laughing at these things. So what am I lying about?
I wonder what Abdel Fattah El Sisi was wanting to glean from him.
Out. Explicitly lying about, not made a molecular or a minor mistake.
I have to find out about these Egyptian planes.
We got a time zone wrong. And then it's like, she lied. The plane left a couple of hours earlier. Maybe somewhere I made a mistake on a timeline of Charlie being here on this day when he's actually there on that day. But I'm talking like, where am I lying? Because I would like to stop if you can tell me.
I actually think those Justice for Theatre kids, sorry, I'll have your badge. Yeah, I mean, I think I have, oh no, it's downstairs. I have a Palestine flag badge, but please don't take that away from me. Who doesn't like Dairy Queen? I've never been to Dairy Queen. I think there was one at the cinema the other day, but I don't know. I don't remember now. Oh no, that was a Baskin Robbins. Let's listen to her talk about the Egyptian planes. I want to know.
Okay. So you have to remember that Charlie landed into Salt Lake City at 9:23 a.m. local time. I suspect that if he had instead landed into Provo, he would have recognized the blue Egyptian plane. Okay. It's not every day that you see an Egyptian military craft. It is now my well-informed opinion that he would have looked at that plane and he would have recognized the blue plane, and he would have instantly realized that something was amiss.
Did Merriam-Webster really name slop word of the year? Wow.
And now I'm going to explain to you very carefully why I suspect that it is highly likely that Charlie would have recognized that plane, okay? Tail number SUBND, the blue plane. A pregnant mommy sleuth who was locked into this investigation discovered something that me and my team had missed. I consider her, obviously, and all of you to be my decentralized intelligence agents. Anyway, she sent me a rather urgent email, and I'm obviously protecting her identity for reasons that are clear. But I want you to know that this discovery is due entirely to her. She is the person that, in this regard, went max for Charlie when I missed something. Her email stated, in effect, that I was only partially right about the plane tracking Charlie, that she had done an additional 15 hours of research and was able to discern that the person the planes were actually tracking for years was Erica. Not Charlie, but Erica was the one being tracked by these planes. And indeed, it turns out that she was correct. She discovered that between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SUBTT, the yellow plane, and SUBND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations, okay? 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped, okay? And 29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. Charlie was also present. And that's what I was stumbling upon when I was looking into this. I was like, why is this plane where Charlie is? The flights were majority clustered within 5 states: Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Delaware, and Utah. And it's a pattern that she believes is statistically not random. I'm telling you this information has been completely verified. I am showing you this on a spreadsheet now. These are all.
So, what? I just, okay. Like, I'm not sure I quite fully understand, like, what she's talking about here, to be honest.
All of the instances in which this plane, 68 instances that this plane crossed with Erica. And I'm also going to say this includes overseas as well, okay? So my instant question becomes, why didn't Turning Point acknowledge that this plane was familiar to them? When I was taking all of these figurative online bullets, someone could...
Yeah, I don't really get the significance of the Egyptian planes.
They've easily said something, right? That's kind of a repeat thing in this investigation. Josh Hammer lies, I get attacked, Turning Point just stays silent. They know he's lying, but they allow the lie to flow. Alex Clark...
Like, I don't doubt that the Egyptian military engage in extrajudicial assassinations, but I'd assume that it's predominantly of Egyptian dissidents.
Clark lies, I get attacked, I'm telling the truth. Turning Point knows it, but they kind of allow this, like, Catholic thing, lie to flow. and the influencers are allowed to lie. Nobody at Turning Point ever just steps to clarify that I'm onto something or I'm telling the truth about something.
She does. Wait, Candace Owens does have a book. It's got an amazing name. I think it's called Make Him a Sandwich is her book. That's what her new book is called. Why Real Women Don't Need Feminism. Oh, wait, is this out?
And when it comes to these Egyptian flights, the math on this is indisputable. There is less than a 0.000000001% probability, okay, under random distribution models that these Egyptian planes coincidentally landed around Erica at these times. Like I said, this plane was not just with her in America, it was also tracking her overseas as well. I flagged this because I was alarmed because I thought it was tracking Charlie, and I am telling you that this plane, in addition to Charlie, and primarily actually was tracking Erica.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Egypt works for the West. Yeah, I mean, it does, yes. Egypt does. Egypt is basically a vassal state of the United Arab Emirates. It's not really an exaggeration to say that. I'm just not sure I really get the significance. Maybe I've got to watch more law. Maybe I'll have to find out more lore about this, but yeah, that's probably enough of that for today. There's one more. Oh yeah, shit, did any of you see this? Canada has apparently given up on its Victims of Communism monument after hundreds of the names were shown to be affiliated with fascism. So now apparently Canada's Victims of Communism thing just has nothing on it. Apparently the monument will stay there. I genuinely one of the most amazing things that they've had to remove it. Hello, Brat6738. Also, by the way, I'll stream for a little bit and then I'm going to take my contacts out because my left one feels like it's dirty or something. I don't know why. Candace spreading nonsense. I mean, I don't find it so convincing. Like, I just don't. I don't think for me that I see Charlie changing all that much. Like, sure, I don't think it's undeniable that maybe he would have one day, but I just think that there is also, like, a motive for this guy to kill him, which seemingly comes from his personal life of dating a trans person. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh. I'm trying to find the video that I just saw. I'm searching Asmongold trans, and I'm seeing if he's become trans.
They'll have to... Once the Nazis... Naira went and they said, this is a very, very common thing. You want to... So anyway, Naira...
Right, here we go.
Went and they said, this is a very, very common thing. You want to talk about reputation destruction? You're a piece of shit who spreads transphobia, normalizes far-right propaganda, and you deserve to not just be called out, but face real-world consequences for the hate you're spreading. I wonder what this means. I do. I wonder what this means. I wonder how you would feel if I said to my audience that you should face real-world consequences. I wonder how you'd feel about that.
By the way, it's such a funny take from Asmongold because, of course, transgender people are already facing real-world consequences as a result of the hatred that people like him spread online. Like, really, it's genuinely just such a funny way to position yourself of claiming, oh, yeah, imagine if I spoke like that about you. People are regularly calling all trans people pedophiles and groomers.
No, I'd never do that.
I don't know who Nyara is, but yeah, seemingly.
Because that would be an incitement to violence. And you know it is. Unfortunately, I don't think that we can get this person's account banned for this. But if I can see you're on the spectrum. You're going to go over the line, and we're going to get you. We're going to get you. It's going to happen, and you're going to do something or say something, and that's what's going to happen. Please do it. There's no reason to do it. Would you report these people? I don't think this is enough to get a person suspended. I think it should be, by the way, but you know, I don't really. It's abstract enough to where like it's not a direct threat. You're not some hero of free speech. You suck. Whoever said I'm a hero of free speech? Nobody ever said that, right? And so anyway, this is the thing. I said if you want to play a fun drinking game, search from Nayara trans kids and take a drink every time you get a new tweet. You'll have alcohol poisoning in 30 seconds. And so again, we can just go back and look at this again. I will search this from.
I'd be careful searching trans kids.
Oh, it crashed. There's too many results. So,
I'm sure that if someone did this about like her, if someone did this about Asmongold's insane commentary on Muslims, migrants, minorities, you'd find something pretty similar.
We've got ourselves a bit of a situation here. A bit of a problem. A bit of an issue. A certain individual. They're obsessed with kids. Yes. Yes. Nayara is 100% obsessed with this. Oh, wait, guys. You thought it was over? No. It just crashed. That's all. It just crashed because there are so many of them. There's so many of these. We're not even... All of this is just this year. It's literally just this year. So... Servers like, stop. Would you say she has mental illness? Absolutely. It's not even a question. Like, of course you're mentally ill. You're out of your fucking mind. Yes, and so anyway, what is this? This is sick. Absolutely fucking sick. And so, by the way, this is not it. It just literally crashed. It won't even load any more results. There's been so many results that it won't even load them all, and it hasn't even gotten to last year, barely. It's in November. This is all in 1 year talking about trans kids. And they're telling me that I'm engaging in reputation destruction by telling other people to do their own research. How obsessed is this weirdo? Very obsessed, you can see. Very, very, very obsessed. And the thing is that, and also if I pull this up and find it here, where is it? If I can, where the hell did it go? And I'll see if I can pull up another one of these, because I think that there's been one other one, but I haven't seen it there. Once the Nazification of the U.S. is over, they'll have to add laws and regulations to free speech in order to not protect hate speech. Being allowed to maliciously spread misinformation without consequences, and thus normalizing fascist propaganda, is bad for a country, actually. I've got really bad news for you. Is that... What do you think happens whenever people like me, or people that are more extreme than me, inevitably get control of the government? What do you think happens to all the people that were tweeting nonstop about trans kids? What happens to them? And now you can see why these people are so extreme.
It's like, I just find this so funny that, like, once again, I've mentioned this before and I don't want to rehash the same talking point. I just find it nigh on comical that the vast majority of internet leftists spend their time obsessing over Hassan. And as I'm saying, I'm not talking about meaningful critiques of him, of being like, he's an evil anti-Semitic extremist, is what I'm talking about. You know? Like, look, listen to this guy's rhetoric about trans people. What's going to happen when people like me take over?
It's because I think on some very, very base level, they know their days are numbered. There is not any degree of activism, virtue signaling, crying, like victimhood that's going to save you. It's going to happen. And it's your fault. It's all your fault. And so, yeah, you never had to do
well, when he takes over, all of the cockroaches all over the United States are all going to unite as one into one big symbiote body for him. So I think you should probably be worried. He'll be able to command them at his will.
No, nobody ever asked you to do this. Nobody ever wanted you to do this. People clearly asked you over and over and over, please stop doing this. Everybody has been tremendously reasonable, but you keep doing this stuff. These people are afraid of free speech because they know where that's going to lead them. They know what's going to happen. And so, yeah, there we go. They're waiting for another bandwagon to jump on. Yes, exactly. And it's just really, sadly, Nayara is German. He's our problem then. I mean, I don't know, really. I mean, like, I don't know what's happening in Germany. I'm not a German. Well, I mean, I have German ancestry, but, like, I'm not a German. Right? I've never been to Germany, so I don't know what y'all's problems are other than the stuff I see on the media. So yes, anyway, people are crying about things that I'm saying. This is very common, and yeah, normalize one of the levels of work anymore. We don't care. You clown's Colossus, a new era, clown. Exactly. It's pathetic, man. It really is. But anyway, so it's really funny for me to see this happen because so many of these morons have just been totally fucking, totally exposed.
What does this guy do all day? Does he just like sort of sit and just scroll down?
Really have, and I'm glad to see it. I think that they are finally and luckily exposed.
It is utterly ridiculous. I think you are missing something. Have you ever considered a dead rat alarm clock to make keep you awake during your streams? Yeah, no, I haven't considered that. Thanks for the 500 yen. Also, just imagine how putrid the smell of a dead rat would actually be.
And I think this is a good
like that you were was just cooking in the sun.
Thing. It's a great thing. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of this too. But what is this here? It goes viral for a picture working with John Cena. Goddamn. And
woman goes viral for her pics working out with John Cena.
Here it goes viral for a picture working with.
From Modern History on X. Oh my god, I bet this account is brilliant. Content nostalgia. Oh my god, this person just posts like slop. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman on the set of Seven. Wow. This is where I get all of my news from. Today's birthday girl, Helen Slater in Supergirl 1984. And then all of the comments are the comments are even stranger. Such a fun movie. Birthday cake, Batman. Wow. Amazing things are happening. But hello, Tokyo Hands. Good to see you. I don't know what the hell this is about. I don't know what the hell this person is like what this account is bad. About, sorry. I don't know why I said bad. I mean, the account is objectively bad. It just posts a picture of John Cena from his school years. Like, what is this? Jesus Christ. All right, guys, I'm quickly going to go take my contacts out because they're starting to wind me up. So I'll be back very quickly. You can have some music on, and then we'll be back to cover the more Bondi Beach stuff. So I'll be back in like a minute or two. I can't show that one. We listened to that last time, so we'll have I'm From Jerusalem. And I'll do it the way Henry likes it. It is utterly ridiculous. Oh, wait. Volcatronic 7157. Thank you for becoming a member.
أنا القدسي من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا القدسي من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا من القدسي 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 من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا من القدسي من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا من القدسي أنا من القدسي أنا من القدسي أنا من القدسي الشوارع في المزارع في المصانع في الطرقات في الشوارع في المزارع في المصانع في الطرقات سأبقى أناضل لتحرير الأرض والإنسان سأبقى أناضل لتحرير الأرض والإنسان أنا من القدس 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 من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا من القدس من البلدة القديمة أنا من شوارع فلسطين الحبيبة أنا من القدس أنا من القدس أنا من القدس
Ow! Ow! Oh. Oh. There we go. That feels better. Right, I'm sorry. I just need to get back to it. Sorry. Oof. Yeah, sorry. I went to take off my contact. Sorry, let me just. Why are you talking about the quartering? I wasn't pissing in the corner, I swear. I bet Charlie Kirk's ex-wife would be a great guest on your guys' podcast. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'll have her on the podcast, maybe, yeah. Oh, God, that hurt my eyes. I had a load of trouble getting it out my right eye. I just stood on my chair, so it hurt. That's all. Right, okay, let's talk about... Yeah, that's everything. So, one of the most amazing things that happened with the Bondi Beach thing was that Drew Pavlou was named in the Financial Review as a person who was responsible for spreading fake stories about the attack because he claimed that there was a fireworks celebration. Some used the tragedy to stoke tensions across Sydney. Videos of fireworks in Western Sydney circulated across X, Facebook, and Reddit in the aftermath of the attack, including by right-wing content creator Drew Pavlou, in a now-deleted post captioned, "Reports that Islamists set off celebratory fireworks in Bankstown, Western Sydney." There were fireworks in Western Sydney last night, but they had nothing to do with the horrors at Bondi. Instead, they were to celebrate Padstow's annual Carols by Candlelight event, which happened to be scheduled at the same time. The role of AI in driving mis and disinformation will be picked apart in the days and weeks to come, but AI and social media have not covered themselves in glory in the Bondi Beach attack. The biggest issue is the way AI has lowered the friction to spreading and creating misinformation. I mean, yeah, you could ask Grok things and it would just say they were true, regardless of if they were or not. Sorry.
Goddamn. And
I'll get what's his name off the screen, Asmongold. But yeah, I mean, really amazing things are happening over there. I mean, Drew Pavlou is just an insane character. Drew Pavlou would just lie about anything for a few views and likes on X. Drew Pavlou is genuinely very happy to get whatever he can. There was he got upset because Pamphlets posted posted this. Bondi shooter was radicalized by racist Australian influencer Drew Pavlou. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Drew Pavlou posts whatever he wants, but, you know, yeah. This left-wing account is trying to get me murdered by falsely claiming that I was involved in the Bondi massacre. Elon Musk, can you please get this taken down? I'm extremely fearful for my safety. Left-wingers are trying to get me killed. I mean, I think Drew Pavlou is just posting that. I think he knows that he is just also just doing anything in his power to get views and likes.
Muslims.
Wait.
End of the day,
there's a statement from Nick Fuentes on this that he was reacting to. Hold on.
Hey, what we do know about these attacks and the media's attempt to spin it is that this is a war between Israel and Muslims. It is their war. It's not ours. This has nothing to do with Europeans. This has nothing to do with Christians. It has nothing to do with Americans, Australians. It has nothing to do with any of us. Okay? Whether this is orchestrated for the purpose of benefiting Israel, that's one thing, or it is merely being used to benefit Israel, and it is the result of anger at Israel. It's a distinction without a difference. Let's say these guys were organic, homegrown terrorists. Let's say it's real. Why do you think they targeted Hanukkah? It's because Muslims worldwide are watching Israel ethnically cleanse Gaza, watching them bomb Lebanon, bomb Iraq, Iran, Yemen with impunity. And I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right.
By the way, also, I don't feel like that's a great explanation because the vast majority of Muslims watch those things happen and, of course, feel great ire, and generally more ire than most people in Western society. However, in fact, the vast majority of Muslims don't engage in any form of militancy and try and use democratic and non-violent means so as to challenge Israel. Like, what are you talking about here? It's also funny because this guy does not give a singular shit about anything. And yet it is so over the top. He looks like Santa's little helper on crack. I mean, kind of insane that he has three Christmas trees. I mean, if it's... I think the main thing is like now... Apparently the attackers were Indian. I said yesterday that they were Pakistani. He was Indian and Italian. The attacker was, at least. So, you know, obviously not a... obviously not Pakistani, as some were claiming yesterday. Sorry, my streams just crashed. I mean, so sorry, I couldn't hear this. But yeah, it was a Muslim who stopped the shooter. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I think that is a minion in the background. I don't know why.
Really not, because I don't think that the solution to killing is more killing. I don't think the solution to killing innocents is killing other innocents. I think it's equally reprehensible. It's absolutely evil. But let's not pretend like we don't know what's going on here. The people in Gaza are powerless. They have no advocate. They have no agent. Nobody is helping them. They're at Israel's mercy. Israel is absolutely slaughtering them. And then their allies go in the West and brag about it. They say there are no innocent Palestinians. The kids are innocent.
3 Christmas trees. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the 200 yen. I mean, it's weird to have 3 Christmas trees in the background. And yeah, he was Italian and Indian. Sorry, should be investigating the Italianness of him, in my opinion. But no, of course. Apparently, he also was in the Philippines, and they found the Islamic State flags. And once again, it is worth mentioning that such a limited amount of the discourse has focused on the fact that they have perpetrated this huge amount of massacres. They've perpetrated 2 massacres against Jewish communities.
They voted for Hamas. They should all die. And we should starve them. And I'm glad that they're starving to death. And this is what people say in the West. And sooner or later, some of these Muslims, and again, I'm not justifying it. I'm describing what happens. These people snap. And they say, well, how about a taste of your own medicine? I think that's evil. I think that's wicked and reprehensible. But
yeah, 3 KKK Christmas trees. It doesn't really matter who organized it. What do you mean, the event? I mean, the only thing that's problematic is like when Novara Media eulogizes one of the guys. And my tweet about this, which I thought was pretty decent. Where is it? Sorry, it's amidst Harley's blackface, so just got to go find it. So one of the people who was killed, who's been getting a lot of eulogies, is this Eli Schlanger guy. Eli Schlanger regularly responded to photos of Palestinians as Amalek. He said things about like how they were AI. He raised money for settler organizations. And this is what I said. Just like the perpetrators of yesterday's attack, Eli Schlanger was a religious extremist. However, the tens of thousands who he incited against and supported the mass extermination of were acceptable victims to the majority of those in power across the West. Like, fundamentally, hundreds of Palestinians have been killed every single day by Jewish extremists in the West Bank. Sometimes not even extremists. Many people from the West who went over and participated. Many people from America who went over and participated. And by the way, this isn't to like justify anything that happened. There was like a 10-year-old that was killed at the event. But what I'm saying is that like religious extremism is a problem. It's a problem in all communities. It's not something unique to Muslims. And the rise, I mean, like Nick Fuentes is a white extremist, like a Christian nationalist, right? Like, I don't think he's really a Christian, but you know, he's certainly a Christian nationalist. But here's another video. Dear soldier, I hope you guys are safe. I know you guys are working hard to take Gaza down. So this is utterly ridiculous. Lemon Mint Cat, thanks for becoming a member. Shout out all the members. I also really like your 3 KKK Christmas tree. Doesn't surprise me. In America, KKKKKA. Yeah. Oh, this is him.
And when the reservists come here,
So this is, I won't play the full video, but there's footage of the Chabad emissary, Eli Schlanger, raising money for Israel's genocide at the makeshift Channel 14 studio in a settlement in the West Bank. This guy got to go out and express his religious extremism. Like, he got to go out and be a religious extremist in a totally acceptable way. People are upset over 15 people being killed. It is terrible. But that was a religious extremist carrying out violence. The Islamic State are clearly on the rise. The idea that slogans pushed someone who went to the Philippines potentially for a trip that's now being investigated, which may have had some involvement with the Islamic State. The people who are claiming that this is a direct result of people chanting "Globalize the Intifada" from the river to the sea are jokers.
You can see how violence begets violence. This kind of Hatfield and McCoy violence, Israelis are trying to murder all these people. And
yeah, but it doesn't make an Islamic State person going, like an Islamic State guy, going and shooting at like an event where there are civilians acceptable. Like, it would be against international law, even if these were people who were all in the Israeli military, because they aren't wearing uniform. And I know Israel doesn't abide by any of those laws. But yes, I mean, most people in Western media are unwilling to confront the fact. And they, like, look, it's someone who is an anti-Semite carrying out, you know, a mass murder. But, like, simultaneously, you know, the tens of thousands of Palestinians who are exterminated, most people do not care about or do not want to confront the fact that this, a major reason for this is Orientalism and racism that designates certain human beings as monsters who are all worthy of death.
they think, oh, well, we're just going to do this and there will be no pendulum swinging. There's going to be no equal and opposite reaction. Here's the problem for all of us. These people are in our countries. Muslims, pro-Israel Jews. They're coming into our country.
It's amazing because Nick Fuentes, like, literally is just like Kahana, where the problem isn't actually the acceptability of the vast majority of his rhetoric. Like, it's just not. Most people, like Asmund Gold thinks Nick Fuentes is cool. Like, Asmund Gold says very similar things about immigrants. It is only that Nick Fuentes does not like Israel and speaks negatively constantly about Jewish people that he is not really fully accepted within the modern Republican Party. Like, that's genuinely it.
And they're battling it out. What are we doing? We're paying for this genocide, and we have all these people living here. We're paying for the genocide, giving Israel the weapons to carry it out. Well, we have a large Muslim population. So does Australia. So does Europe. So we're paying for Israel's war of expansion there. Then the victims of this are going to create chaos and terrorist attacks in our countries where we've invited them in. And the war will continue in our...
By the way, also, a major point is the funding of these organizations. Like, the fact that funding has been given over and over again. Like, I was looking this up. There's a great article, which I mentioned yesterday, from the Libertarian Institute. If you want to see it, it's in the stream yesterday. But, for example, we just funded and enabled the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. Like, who were just Islamist extremists because they were useful to us. Also, I didn't know this, and this article was written before his rise to power, but, hold on, but Jelani was in a prison. Hold on, I'll show you. So they talk about this here, right? Marine Major Douglas Stone was tasked with running the facility. He's talking about the Bukha prison in Afghanistan. In Iraq. And he said it had become a jihadi university and that Al-Qaeda were doing huge amounts of stuff within it. And look who it mentions here. The Independent reported in 2014 that according to the terrorism analyst firm, the Sufan Group, 9 members of the Islamic State's top command did time at Buqa. Abu Mohammed al-Jolani, the future leader of the Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria, the Nusra Front, was among those Al-Qaeda leaders held in Buqa. It talks about how there was just a huge release of prisoners that didn't really make any sense. And there's also a guy who mentions here, where is he? The French... Let me see if I can find this. This article is so long, by the way. It's actually insane. Here you go. French Foreign Minister Roland Dumas was told by top British officials that they were preparing something in Syria. Britain was organising an invasion of rebels into Syria. They even asked me, although I was no longer Minister for Foreign Affairs, if I would like to participate. This article is very well sourced. It talks about the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. I'd recommend you read it if you want to learn a bit about our relationship. There was a Nazi rally in Australia recently. And the truth is Fuentes has no problem with that.
Our homeland, and Americans will die, or Australians will die, whoever. And people say, well, you don't talk about Muslims enough. You don't blame Muslims. I am adamant that we should have none of these people here. We should have none of these foreigners here. And who brought them here in the first place? Because I recall that when in 1965, they took away the national origins quotas and they let in all these people from the third world. They let in all the barbarians. It was the Jewish lawyers, the Jewish groups that pushed the hardest. It was the American Jewish Committee.
It's amazing that that is literally the only point where people draw a problem with Nick Fuentes. It's not the barbarism. It's not anything else. It's not anything else. It is literally just that he blames Jewish people for it.
It was the American Jewish Congress. It was the ADL. It was these types of groups that were pushing this from the very beginning, calling us a melting pot. We have no identity. We don't have Christianity anymore because of the Establishment Clause. Now that the gates have been thrown open and these people are here, and now that they've brought the war with them, now everybody says, oh, it's Muslims, Muslims. I saw, for example, Finkelstein from Piers Morgan. He had a tweet last week where he said, I feel safe in London. I love diversity. They have great curry. The day after the attack in Australia, he goes, oy vey, I don't feel safe anymore. It's not safe to be in the West. In other words, when diversity was killing white people, no one gave a fuck. Now that diversity is killing Jews, oh, sound the alarm, call the National Guard. I mean, that's literally how it goes. When diversity is...
I mean, there was obviously a huge amount, there was like what was it? The Charlie Hebdo protest, like where all the world leaders walked around. And that wasn't an attack specifically targeted against Jewish people, was it?
Destroying white countries, when diversity is killing white people, when diversity is erasing our heritage. Hey, man, America never was white. What even is white? Hey, man, it's about...
Right, this is enough of this fucking idiot. But yeah, I mean, Drew Pavlu was enraged by that. But by the way, as well, Drew Pavlu complains about his, being targeted for lying. Now, let's watch a video.
Move. Keep moving. To the side. Move. Stay. Wait there. Hold up, boys. Hold it. Take a step back, guys. Take a step back. Why? Why you do it? Why? We are grieving. Why? We are grieving. No, it's because of you. It's happening. We are grieving. Why you do that? Why? Slow down a bit, Lucy. Good work, guys.
So this is a Palestine activist went to Bondi Memorial to protest. The lady is Jewish. The lady is Jewish, and it's so insane. There's only one narrative that you're allowed about this, which is, no, we must destroy all pro-Palestine activism. there was also, by the way, there was another guy who I'm not going to show the video of because it's obviously like, you know, graphic and they don't want, then it won't be shown. But anyway, there was also a Syrian Australian, alongside Ahmad al-Ahmed. There was also an asylum seeker who got involved, and the police shot at him and members of the public attacked him. So he was actually the video. If you remember, there was a video going around when people were like, oh, wow, look at this Aussie guy kicking the attacker in the head. The guy on the floor was someone who had actually tried to stop the event. We also have, by the way, this is what I mean. The discourse around this is insane. By the way, the link does not look good. That link does not look like it'll even work. So no, I'm not putting that in there. It's not working. Oh wait, I accidentally moved that over. Look at this. In the UK today, apparently this is an unacceptable statement. Commenting on the shootings in Australia today, Netanyahu said anti-Semitism spreads when leaders stay silent. Nothing to do with Israel committing genocide in Palestine then. Netanyahu wants anti-Semitism to be a thing. It validates him. He acts to make it so. People are claiming that this is genuinely an anti-Semitic unacceptable statement. That this is just like a not an acceptable thing. Yeah, but people probably won't copy and paste it is the problem. But anyway, the thing is that, like, apparently just highlighting this, when obviously it is 100% worth saying that using anti-Semitism, where an attack is carried out by someone who is involved with the Islamic State, to crack down on all pro-Palestinian speech, to crack down on criticism of Israel, and then going on about two-tier policing, blaming marches in London for a shooting over there in Australia is insane. Like, but frankly, it's insane. Hello, Cyrith. Hello, everyone. But yeah, like, just the fact that this is now called an unacceptable statement, and then we got an amazing call-in to LBC Radio. LBC is fucking dog shit, by the way. This publication is absolute horse shit. And the reason it's horse shit is I found something out today, which was posted by Mark Owen Jones. So if you want to check out him, it's this guy on Twitter. He used to work at Exeter before I got there. I don't know him. They let a guy who is literally a propagandist for the Emirati government, someone who works in league with the government, doing genocide against Sudanese people, and he does this specifically for the reason of continuing to attempt to justify what is going on in Sudan. They let LBC let him write. They let him write an article for them. The UK is in its rush to demonstrate its historical tolerance, that's how he talks, through an unquestioning embrace of multiculturalism, has created a crisis within its own borders by turning a blind eye to the growing threat of Islamism. This guy is like a straight-up authoritarian, and these dogshit liberal outlets who have, like, rage against Israel a little bit, where they're like, Israel blew some people up today, and I'm upset about it, have no problem with this guy. Like, have no problem with legitimizing a figure like Amjad Taha.
Politicians and foolish people, even if they have money or not, coming to make statements that will endanger the lives of every single person. And they are coming here to say Islamophobia and this phobia and that phobia. There is no phobia anywhere. Stop this nonsense propaganda and pushing violence to innocent people, because it can be you the next day that will be on the other side of the barrel where they are shooting at you and your own children. The Chinese government killed many Uyghur Muslims. They did not attack Chinese people here on the streets of Britain or anywhere in the world.
By the way, there was also like a spike in during the pandemic, there was like a spike in anti-Asian hate crimes. Like that's something that happened. And that, by the way, was something objectively that, like, you know, obviously attacking random people is unacceptable. But what I'm saying is, like, objectively, it wasn't the fault of the Chinese government. But like, yeah, there was like this is like reported in a multitude of different institutions, and yet these people exceptionalize it and be like, oh, no, this is a thing that is exclusively unique to Jewish people. Racism doesn't exist unless it is against Jewish people.
And many African leaders are committing different crimes, including other ethnic groups. You are not going out there slaughtering all the other ethnic groups. And it's always one particular group that always gets angry when something happens. We must address the elephant in the room. We should stop painting pictures. It is Islamic radical groups. When you do something, they take it to the extreme. Christians don't go out there shooting people.
Christians obviously do go out shooting people. What's his name? What's his name? Pete Hegseth is a Christian extremist. He's mass murdering people right now that he deems inferior to him, right? Like, you know that that's happening, right? Like, you know? It's just, once again, there are acceptable outlets for people to express these hatreds. If they are Jewish, if they are Christian, in Western society, they can go and express them in so many ways.
Hindus, Buddhists, any other ethnic group or religion do not do these things. Well, let's stop making false equivalents. Islamic radicalism is a problem, and it puts moderate Muslims in danger. Because for how long do you think people will tolerate this nonsense before it turns out into a street fight every single day in every single capital city?
I can't take issue with any of that. That was first class.
Yeah. I mean, amazing that this is like an anti-right wing TV show, like news show. Wait, I accidentally went off Ben Kentish. Like, listen to this other one.
Enough is enough. But that phrase has been used for so long now in this context that it has lost all meaning it ever had. Because the reality is, nothing changes. Jewish children carry on doing their school drills, preparing them for what happens if a gunman breaks in and attempts to shoot them all dead. Jewish adults continue going to pray, to celebrate, to mourn, in buildings being guarded by professional police in a way that no other faith has to. All the while they're...
Like, this is the problem in the UK, by the way. There are a bunch of, like, I don't know who really this guy is, but there are so many talentless hacks who just have, like, media jobs, who will always have media jobs like this, who no one seriously is listening to this. This can't be that popular, but because they just parrot the government line and don't really deal with, and don't really do anything challenging, they're allowed to keep their jobs.
Doing that, they have to put up with these other people dismissing it, belittling it, waving it away.
Do you not see that the problem is that so many people delegitimize anti-Semitism? Like, I mean, obviously Ben Kentish probably has no idea who fucking Ethan Klein is, but how much has Ethan Klein delegitimized anti-Semitism by claiming everything is anti-Semitic? You know, like to so many people, where he claims that Madison is a Nazi because she said some things about him that she didn't like, that she is the worst anti-Semite in the world. It's like the stuff that goes on in this world where people just delegitimize anti-Semitism is a joke. In fact, like foreign governments, the Israeli government calling everything against them a blood libel.
Because, well, at least you don't live in Gaza. Or blaming the world's only Jew in Gaza. Dismissing it, belittling it, waving it away because, well, at least you don't live in Gaza.
Listen to this fucking piece of shit. Like, listen to this dog. Like, this guy is a complete and utter hack. Like, at least you don't live in Gaza. Motherfucker, there are 70,000 plus minimum dead in Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of wounded. What has our society done to stop that? We can't even stop selling weapons to them. Our government go on and on about anti-Semitism. They do, frankly. They offer protection to people who are ostensibly victims of anti-Semitic incidents that are not even anti-Semitic incidents. Like people who are called occupiers, people who are called colonizers, an accurate name for the actions of the state of Israel. And like, just this guy who has the audacity to say this, and he says, oh, anti-Semitism is the worst form of hatred. Anti-Semitism is a form of racism that, yes, led to the extermination of 6 million Jewish people, at minimum, just during the Holocaust. However, in the history of Orientalism, racism against the other, how many people have died because of that? Because that is what anti-Semitism falls into the category of. And why Palestinians are slaughtered today is the same reason that the millions of indigenous people were slaughtered across the Americas. Like, millions of people slaughtered across the Americas, millions of people slaughtered in Iraq, millions of people whose lives were torn to shreds in places like Libya. Like, I'm sorry, like, having the audacity to sit there and claim this when, like, right now, it is utterly ridiculous. Like, right now, there is, like, a high chance that Donald Trump will invade Venezuela. And by the way, maybe he won't invade it, but engage in some attempt at regime change. By the way, in all the war games that they played, what they've made the realization of is, if we do this, it'll probably lead to a complete and utter societal breakdown there. You are obviously being anti-Semitic for being anti-Semitic. Yeah, I'm being anti-Semitic. Definitely, you know. Thanks, Tokyo House, for the 500 yen. But yeah, like, I mean, it's just like, Israel has delegitimized anti-Semitism all over the world. And yet, of course, there was the Brennan Tarrant mass shooting. There have been many attacks on Muslims. It's not like an oddity. But what I'm saying is, like, those attacks are bad. Those attacks are obviously bad. But the truth is what is worse is the fact that we live in societies where certain human beings can be slaughtered and our governments won't lift a finger. There wasn't this much outrage when this slaughter happened in Sudan. Our weaponry is getting over there. We continually back the UAE. David Lammy had a meeting. Wait. People feigned outrage for some of the most extreme massacres you could imagine in Sudan. No one gives a shit now. Like, none of these people give a singular shit about any of this. They do not. They never did. Because truth be told, it wasn't so easy and it couldn't play into the the way in which they thought it would go forward. But wait, look at this. Spent a productive day in the UAE joining His Highness A.B. Zayed, Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who's by the way, the freak who's constantly on about, like, radical Muslims would take over West. This guy bears responsibility for mass slaughter in Sudan. And, like, people are exclusively fussed over this. What happens in Sudan is just like a horror in the other part of the world, where Britain doesn't need to think about its relationships with countries that bear responsibility for that. We don't have to have a stop and a think about what we might have done. We only do it when there's like a mass killing. That's bad. We should work on stopping these kind of things. But unfortunately, violent outbursts by individuals in societies where they have access to guns have been happening for decades. It is a terrible thing. But we should be trying to work into a world where we aren't doing this kind of stuff. Gaza hasn't led to any reflection amongst the political elite, even though it's destroyed their base, because they don't actually want to change or challenge anything. They're not going to do anything. Like, look at this. The UK shares a deep and historic relationship with the UAE, and we work closely together on regional and global priorities, including boosting economic growth. No one gives a shit about this. This guy bears responsibility for masses of slaughtered people in Sudan for years and years. But apparently anti-Semitism is the only thing that our government should reflect on.
Or blaming the world's only Jewish state for it? As if there are legitimate reasons for people to go out and gun down Jews as they pray. Or even just trying to debate and discuss the reasons that people hate Jews, as if it must come from somewhere, this hatred. The Jews must have done something to deserve it. No.
Genuinely, how is this? Like, genuinely, how is this in any way, like any meaningful analysis? Who watches this?
It's the oldest, deadliest form of hatred that the world has ever known. And it's reared its head once again. And I fear that for all the column inches written and all the hours of discussion and all the politicians saying, this is appalling, this can't go on, it will go on. This will not be the last time this happens. And Jewish people have to put up with that knowledge.
And how many people across the Middle East have to put up with being slaughtered by our government, who have to put up with our government continuing to sell weapons? By the way, here's David Lammy posting about Sudan a few months ago. And there's a particularly insane part of this.
A higher we care is the liberal. Where is the liberal outrage? We cannot have a hierarchy of conflict with this conflict at the bottom.
Like, listen to this guy. Like, it's insane. It's genuinely insane. He hangs around with Abdullah bin Zayed and then tells you, oh, no, you should be upset over what's happening in Sudan. Like, who are these people as moral arbiters? Like, it's very obvious that of the things that lead to mass killings across the United Kingdom, across the world, the main thing is Orientalist racism that has existed for decades. And we cannot keep pretending that anti-Semitism sits apart in terms of like some unique evil, because it is, these people think that there is an easy way to deal with it, which is curtailing freedom of speech. I mean, Benny Johnson was upset over Albanese. Sorry, this is also a really shitty video, but we'll listen to it.
Take ASIO's advice very seriously. We work closely with them. We receive regular updates as well. The Director General of ASIO has warned about a range of threats, be it anti-Semitism, the rise of right-wing extremist groups as well. And we continue.
Like, once again, it is just not borne mentioning that there were Nazis on the street of America. Oh, sorry, of Australia a few weeks before this. Like, just open neo-Nazis.
To work closely with our security agencies.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, but there's no scope for analysis because that's not what these people's jobs are. It's parroting basically the Labour Party and government lines on things. And don't worry,
absolutely right.
Here we go. We've got Wes Streeting, who's, I don't know, the fucking health minister for health, I think, currently.
I think the chief rabbi is absolutely right. And the term globalise the intifada, there will be a whole bunch of daft people in this country who've used those words online or use them in the streets and watching the TV right now be shouting, of course it doesn't mean terrorism against Jewish people. I have to say to those people clearly and robustly, what on earth do you think globalise the intifada means?
Of course, they're just using this in the way that they can. They'll use it for any way they can. And this is the thing, by the way. Anything like this will just be used by odious fucks like Wes Streeting, so they never have to confront the fact that they continually sell weaponry to a government perpetrating genocide.
And can't people see the link between that kind of rhetoric and attacks on Jewish people as Jewish people? Because that's what's really...
What is the link? I really would like to hear the link in terms of how saying globalise the intifada inspired someone who was an Islamic State adherent. Like, I'd really like to know when the actual Islamic State has called for lone wolf attacks against Jews. Like, this is undeniable. I showed this on stream yesterday. The Islamic State has encouraged lone wolf attacks against Jews. And we've seen 2 of them.
Be struck at the heart of Jewish people in our country today. An attack on Jewish people organising around Hanukkah, coming together as Jewish people. It's an attack on their faith, their culture, their family, their community. And those of us who are not Jewish have a responsibility to stand with the Jewish community
but
against that kind of anti-Semitism.
It's more than standing with them, isn't it? I mean, people are saying, you now need to do something. Do you think protesters who use that phrase should be prosecuted?
Well,
what are you
in
going to do?
terms of changes to the law, those are decisions for the Prime Minister.
Right, yeah, stopping people chanting globalise the intifada from the river to the sea. Yeah, that's going to stop it. What are you going to do? Turn into the German police? By the way, there's a great article currently in the... where is it in? The London Review of Books, if you want to check it out, by Harry Stops. It's free. I'm not a subscriber or anything. But he talks about, like, the Berlin police. There's a crazy quote in here, by the way. In the most prominent case to date of an officer sustaining a serious injury at a demonstration, which received enormous attention from politicians and the media, the police version of events turned out to be untrue. Forensics found after an investigation of video evidence that the injury suffered by German police officer 24111 was most likely caused by the officer repeatedly punching protesters in the head. So what do we do? What do we do, Wes Streeting? What do we do, Labour Party, to fix the anti-Semitism that's happening in these attacks? Oh, we take away freedom of speech. We take away these things. And of course, the Islamic State has nothing to do with Hamas and Hezbollah because of its doctrine of ideological purity. Like, they may use the Palestinian cause because, of course, they're anti-Semites. They believe that other Muslims are impure and are worthy of death. So of course they believe that about Jewish people. They have literally encouraged lone wolf attacks. But I haven't heard a single British politician talking about this. I've seen the Telegraph saying, and British outlets, I've seen them saying, well, actually, this might be Iran and Hezbollah.
And the Home Secretary, I'm not aware of plans at this time to change the law in that way.
Do you think it should be?
And I'm not going to step outside my lane now and to start making decisions for the Home Secretary and the Prime Minister.
Honestly, I'm not asking you to make decisions.
But look, I don't. I mean, put it this way. I think that
you've just given a very strong answer about standing with Jewish people.
Yeah, globalise the Intifada is not an expression simply of solidarity with the Palestinian people and their just cause. Globalise the Intifada is received by and seen as support for terrorist action against Jewish people.
Right.
I think that under this logic you should ban the Star of David because most Palestinians see that as the symbol that is emblazoned on the uniforms of the people who mass murder them. It is the flag that is carved into Palestinians' flesh, carved into the ground of Gaza. Oh, and by the way, someone asked the other day, why do you always talk about the Muslim the United Arab Emirates? Let's see what UAE government propagandist has to say.
I am a Muslim, I'm an Arab, and today I stand with the Jewish community in Australia. What happened was not a misunderstanding, it was anti-Semitism. It was terrorism. This kind of hate grows when extremists is allowed space and incitement is ignored. The ideology behind the attack is linked to a Muslim Brotherhood-led movement. The same ideology driven the army committing crimes in Sudan.
Oh my God, listen to how amazing these Emirati propagandists are. Apparently the Muslim Brotherhood did the attack and they were also, doing the violence in Sudan.
Different place, but the same thinking. In the UAE, anti-Semitism is a crime. Extremism is stopped early. This is how society stays safe. Standing with the Jewish community is not politics, it's humanity. I stand with the victim. I stand against terrorism.
The fact that this probably has this has 63,000 likes. By the way, definitely being signal boosted by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a fan of Amjad Taha, by the way.
The comments you've made, why is it that you believe there are more radical Islamists in places like Britain? I've listened to some of the comments you've made. Why is it that you believe there are more radical Islamists in places like Britain than there is in your own country?
The question is, why is it that when a Muslim lives in Dubai, he's more liberal, but when a Muslim lives in London, he's more extremist? Why is it that you have the fact that if an Orthodox Jew, after the 7th of October, still wanted to walk in the street of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, anywhere in the UAE after the 7th of October, he actually identified himself as a Jew and wears his kippah or Orthodox identity. yet he cannot do that in various areas in Birmingham, for example, in Small Heath, in Sparkbrook, in various areas in UK. This should be questioned. It's not a matter of freedom of speech. It's the fact that people in Britain have reached a moment where they cannot express their perspective, their opinion at any stage, at any point, in the name of the fact that they censor them under the umbrella of Islamophobia. But it's on that terminology has been used to prevent any person.
Oh my God, she did retweet it.
I'm a Muslim.
Oh my God. By the way, I cannot believe that this woman thinks she has any right to speak to fucking Hassan about politics or talk about Ethan's politics around Palestine. You are literally retweeting someone here who is justifying extermination in Sudan in your faux outrage over what is happening in what happened in Australia. You are literally reposting a propagandist of an authoritarian government. You were literally crying about Hassan the other day, like for going near China. The UAE is objectively more authoritarian than China. Like, what? Why would she repost this? Jesus Christ. Well, no, I know why. Because she's an idiot. Like, this video literally contains a justification for the mass slaughter in Sudan. Like, genuinely.
I'm in Sudan. Ideology-driven the army committing crimes in Sudan.
Why do, like, genuinely, people who think that they know shit about Palestine, they know shit about what Ethan is talking about, why on earth do they constantly defend this guy? Like, she literally did a bit of research about China and made a PowerPoint about LGBTQ rights there, based exclusively on a few articles from The Guardian.
Different place, but the same thinking. In the UAE, anti-Semitism is a crime. Extremism is stopped early. This is how society stays safe.
It's also just an endorsement for an authoritarian slave state. Oh, God.
Standing with the Jewish community is not politics, it's humanity. I stand with the victim. I stand against terrorism.
Like, I don't think any of these people know about half the things that they're talking about, because these are the kind of people they endorse, who literally enable mass slaughter in Sudan because they say things that they agree with in a non-Western accent. That's by the way, the reason that people love these people is because they have non-Western accents, because they frame themselves as knowing way more about Arab extremists, and it assuages these feelings that all of these people have, because they're often upset that there are people who know more about the Middle East than them and don't agree with them. That's why white Westerners love these people, because they believe that a guy like Amjad Taha, I don't even know the name of that other extremist propagandist who, by the way, enables slaughter in Sudan. The reason that they like them is literally because they're like, look, identity, this guy's an Arab, he knows, he's an Arab Muslim, he knows, you're white, you don't, you're a white boy who's talking about this, you don't know shit. No. This is literally what I wrote my dissertation about. And you may think, oh, well, this is just trying to assuage my own feelings. No. There, as I've mentioned before, Nagar Razavi has an article called Golden Boys and Bros. I mentioned it before. Anyway, the article talks about how Yusuf Al-Otaiba, the Emirati ambassador, literally does this. I mean, I'm under the impression there is a common theme of pockets of the diaspora being more right-wing, but that is as a result of them fleeing the country after the right-wing government they were a part of was toppled. The concept is called Reorientalism. No, the concept is called Reorientalism by Lisa Lau. It's not really a very elucidated concept. There's another guy writing about it whose name escapes me, John Hoffman. John Hoffman talks about the concept, but I don't know if he used the term. But, like, honestly, like, I don't think any of these people realize how dangerous the shit that they're talking about actually is.
Speaking about the Muslim Brotherhood are the armed forces. The armed forces of Muslim Brotherhood is Hamas. And we saw what Hamas carried in terms of terrorism and so on. So, yes, if all the way in...
By the way, his country is responsible for far larger amounts of terrorism destabilization than Hamas is by any metric. Why the likes on the stream, Solo? Yeah, there aren't many likes. Like the damn stream.
Gaza, the humanity still has some hostages there. All the way in London, you have various generation, a new generation who are hostages of that propaganda, of Hamas propaganda, the Muslim Brotherhood's propaganda. It's quite dangerous. It's and devastating, and it's quite a dark time. I mean, to the point, when you speak to a British person at this stage, at this point, they always look at yesterday and they don't tell you about tomorrow. They're scared of tomorrow. When they want to look into the...
It's also just like a lot of shit. I don't know if I will ever send out my dissertation. Some people have it, but I probably won't send it out. I just don't really like doing it. But look at his tweets. This is a warning sign. For your information, blocking public roads to pray would never be tolerated in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, or Dubai, UAE. Such behavior is uncivilized and backward. When authorities tolerate disorder in the name of appeasement, they invite chaos and extremism. Next comes under another anti-Semitic terrorist bombing, like those carried out by Sudanese armed forces. The Hamas of Africa! Oh my god, this guy is brilliant. The Hamas of Africa! Bro, I have got to admit, this guy's more interesting than most Israeli propagandists. The Hamas of Africa, or the Sydney Bondi Beach. What was the figure touted recently of how many were killed in El Fasher? I know it's tens of thousands, but I don't know how many the people were actually saying what the number was. Like, in El Fasher, there were huge amounts of massacres. By the way, this guy who is treated as like a reasonable voice, who has the audacity to call these people here Muslim Brotherhood Hamas extremists, is literally a supporter of an organization that killed tens of thousands of people in 2 days. Like, genuinely, they killed tens of thousands of people. And also, the UAE tortured, like, this guy's country, who he's backing the policies of, they tortured a guy from our country. This guy, Matthew Hedges, he was tortured, and the Foreign Office just did nothing. The UAE tortured him allegedly for spying when he was doing research for his PhD. The UAE just fucking tortured him. And, like, this guy just advocates and, like, thinks that the UAE is awesome. This is exactly how it starts. With tolerated disorder and unchecked extremist behavior. This is a warning sign. Zero tolerance works. Deport Muslim Brotherhood extremists.
What does anti-Semitism lead? People need to understand, first, anti-Semitism, it's not an opinion. It's a crime. And it has existed throughout time. Not few hundred years ago, no 1,000 years ago. It existed. And people justify it under any umbrella. It should not be justified whatsoever. And a person from Israel, or a Jew from all the way from Australia or England, should have the right to express himself. We're reaching a point that the Jew cannot show his identity in a certain area in the West, Sydney, for example. When you reach that point, you have an error in the system.
Wow, he's very, very, very profound.
What does anti-Semitism lead to? It leads to lone wolves. You're a few meters away from having a tool to commit the crime against a member of the society only because you allowed it under the umbrella of freedom of speech.
I mean, why is anyone listening to UAE officials on how to manage an open society? Clearly, that is not a thing that they have an authority on. Because what people like Amjad Taha and what these, why like girl with a microphone finds an opinion like this from someone who advocates for an authoritarian country and tells lies, why people find that appealing is because they're like, no, we're actually advanced because we've done away with Islamic extremism. Like, they genuinely believe that it's like they genuinely believe that it's advanced because they basically say, like, look at his tweet. Amjad Taha makes this so clear. This is the real
Australia.
Muslim Arab woman, not the version you see in Australia supporting the Hamas of Africa, Sudanese armed forces, or Hamas Palestinian terrorists in Gaza. This is the Middle East you don't know. What you call activists are in reality terrorists. At Elon Musk. I like how he tagged Elon Musk. But yeah, you've got to realize this is the appeal. They're like, these are the real Muslims. These are the good Muslims. They're the advanced Muslims. And the reason that they say that, and the reason that people buy this shit about it being the advanced Muslims, is because they sell this vision of tolerance. Whilst they're undeniably an authoritarian country who engages in mass slaughter, how they get away with it is by sitting there and going, no, 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 no. We're not like the rest. We're the advanced people because we live in a tolerant, multicultural society, while simultaneously ignoring that undeniably they are a dictatorship. Yes, and so many people are never ever going to be able to see that. So many people are never ever going to confront the fact of, hey, hang on, this is a bit weird that some like extremist from the United Arab Emirates who supports mass slaughter in Sudan and they live in a dictatorial country is telling me about tolerance and what Muslims should or shouldn't be allowed to do. Like, it's weird. It's weird. It's objectively weird. But it's how they sell themselves. It's how they've always sold themselves. Like, and they're only going to keep doing this because it works. Because Westerners are stupid. Westerners are stupid and they like the appeal of this crap. A Muslim spokesman, liberal identity politics needs a Muslim spokesman that confirms their already held beliefs. Liberals respond only to shapes and colours. Yes, they need their interpreter of the mystical Orient. They need the person who stands across and tells them, this is what the real Muslims are like. Because they feel like liberals. They don't want to hate Muslims for being Muslims. They don't think every Muslim is bad, right? And so what do they need? They need someone who stands there as an interpreter of the culture, but speaks to them with an authoritative identity. That's what these people require. Because they're always like, they do this all the time. They're like, oh, you need to listen to X person because they're X thing, because they're X that, because they're X whatever.
Can I first address the horrific attack that took place yesterday at Bondi Beach in...
And this is what our Foreign Secretary will be telling us.
Sydney. Across the UK and across the world, people have been shocked and appalled by this vile anti-Semitic terrorist attack, targeting Jewish families who were celebrating on the beach on the first day of Hanukkah. New South Wales authorities have confirmed that 15 people have been killed, in addition to one of the two gunmen, and 27 people remain in hospital. It is a devastating loss of life, including a Holocaust survivor and a little girl just 10 years old. It's also now been confirmed that one of the victims of the Bondi attack was a British national, bringing this tragedy even closer to home, and we have offered support to the family following their tragic loss. I've offered my Australian counterpart, Foreign Minister Penny Wong, the United Kingdom's full support in their response, and the Prime Minister and His Majesty the King have both...
Gato Surfer, thank you for the Chilean pesos, I think. I was shocked to discover the director of the Palestinian community in Chile is a CAS supporter who received 90% of the votes in Israel, Nazi son and his family, and supported Pinochet's dictatorship. I was going to talk about that. I don't know that much about it, but it sounds like a very interesting topic. Thanks for the donation, but I may mention that. Don't they take foreign workers' passports from them? Countries like India, yeah, predominantly people from South Asia. It's called the kafala system, if you want to learn more about it. The kafala system is like basically a form of kind of modern slavery. How it operates is basically through... It operates specifically through this thing of like taking a passport, and then they have like an agreement with someone who lives there, and the employer is like their sponsor, and they basically have full control over them. It's an atrocious thing. It's an atrocious thing that, by the way, also developed out of a way to like destroy solidarity between Arab workers across the Middle East. If you look, basically, a huge amount of Palestinian workers were expelled were expelled in the it'll be like 90s and 80s, because basically they had solidarity with the Palestinian cause. And so what they do is they bring in huge amounts of South Asians, because first of all, they're severed from their country. Normally they rack up debt trying to get over to these countries, and then they end up in a situation where they need to, you know, kind of work to be able to live in a situation. I haven't slept a wink. I would suggest that you would get some sleep. But yeah, it's like Bangladesh, Pakistan. Those are the two largest countries, I would assume. India. The UAE's multiculturalism is a farce. Well, so the UAE is an interesting place. What the UAE is... Yes, its multiculturalism is a farce in a sense, but historically the UAE is actually kind of multicultural, because it used to be like a trading hub historically, and one of the major makers of the United Arab Emirates were huge amounts of Iranians, actually, I believe, who came over across the Persian Gulf. Also, sorry, I need to refresh the stream. It's starting to lag. I don't know why this has started to happen. It's probably a YouTube update or something, because I don't think my PC is having trouble. It's not being noisy, so... But yeah... it is basically modern-day slavery. By the way, Israel had the kafala system until 2006, and now it has something semi-similar.
Shared their condolences. Hanukkah should be a time of celebration and joy, and yet Jewish people are again confronted with vile acts of hatred simply for being Jews. With further distress for our British Jewish communities just a couple of months after the Manchester synagogue attack on Yom Kippur. So we stand in solidarity with Australia's Jewish communities, with Jewish communities here and across the world as they continue to mark Hanukkah, and we stand in solidarity with the Australian people. Our thoughts are with all those affected. We must continue and increase work to root out anti-Semitism in all its forms, here and abroad, because we will never let hatred win.
I thought we were going to get something of her. I guess she's not the Home Secretary anymore, but talking about a crackdown on speech, I thought we were going to get it, but of course, actually, she's not the Home Secretary, so that's kind of stupid. I mean, all of the Gulf countries, they're kind of hard to find, but let me see if this is... yeah, wait, there is a website that will show you it. Have you ever looked... I don't know if any of you have ever looked at this. Look how crazy some of these population demographics are. I didn't mean to show that. I meant to show this. Wait. Seriously, I would say that you should take a look at this. Bahrain has a population of 1.5 million. And 46.8% of it is nationals. 53.2% are foreign nationals. Kuwait, 32.7%. 67.3% are foreign nationals. Oman is a country that still has a pretty high population there. 40% foreign nationals. Look at Qatar's. 12% nationals. 87.9%. These are also guesses, by the way. They may be higher, they may be lower, but it's a pretty accurate guess. Saudi has a more normal-ish population because it's a huge population. Anyway, Saudi Arabia is a big country. So, the population is 58.4 nationals, 41.6 foreign nationals. Look at the UAE. 12% of the 10 million population are nationals. That is insane. Like, genuinely, that is insane. I really can't believe that so many people actually think that this is a country we should be listening to. Your family is one of the early Sunni families in the UAE. Crazy. A lot of people died building those football stadiums for the World Cup. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I knew that. I don't know why I said wow. Yeah. The only thing I do have to say about that, by the way, is when it comes to, like, World Cups and the things they did, it wasn't actually so great for South Africa. There was, like, there was also, like, this thing of basically... going and doing... like, moving populations around. Like, moving them around. Dubai has always been multi-ethnic, but this is still insane. Like, the overall population of the Gulf, including Saudi Arabia... I mean, it's part of the Gulf. But including Saudi Arabia, with 32.1 million people... The population is... The entire population of nationals across the Gulf isn't even the size of the population of Saudi Arabia. Oh no, I did say it was foreign. I didn't say it was Iranians who died building it, by the way. Yeah, I didn't say it was. It was just called the Arabian Peninsula. A lot of these countries are really, really bizarre in their history and how they were created. Edward Said's sister, Rosemary Zahlan Said, is probably like the authoritative voice on most of this. I can't remember what her book's called. It's probably called like The Invention of the Gulf States or the Gulf or something like that.
You don't get to hide behind slogans anymore. When you chant globalize the Intifada, you are not chanting freedom, you are chanting bloodshed. When you chant gas the Jews, you are not protesting policies.
There's a bit of a leap there from globalize the Intifada to gas the Jews. By the way, what's become of Alika Lebon? I ain't seen Alika Lebon shit in a while.
You are calling for genocide. Yes, genocide. I'm using your words against you. Words are not harmless. They travel, they radicalize, they give permission. 12 people are dead in Australia, and every single chant that normalized violence helped build the climate that made it possible. If you marched, if you shouted, if you excused it as activism, yes, Greta, and you did not condemn this attack clearly and immediately, then shame on you.
Thank you, authoritarian enjoyer.
This is not resistance. This is terrorism disguised as morality. There is zero tolerance for anti-Semitism, zero tolerance for incitement, zero tolerance for violence anywhere. You stand up now, you condemn it, or admit exactly what side of history you're on.
Wow. Apparently these are just the Emirati propagandists.
I wrote this as a tweet, but I want to make this as a video as well to solidify this fact. Anti-Semitism is considered as an opinion in the West, whereas here, in the country of tolerance and coexistence,
here, in the country of tolerance and coexistence. Yeah. It's unfortunate that we don't live in utopias as a result of slogans.
it is considered as a crime. It's banned, literally. We do
hold on, I'll tell you the title.
Live in tolerance and coexistence, but one thing we do not tolerate is anti-Semitism, and we do not tolerate racism in any of its forms. So I wrote this as a tweet.
You do tolerate, it's called The Making of the Modern Gulf States by Rosemary Zahlan Said. It's literally freely available online. It's, if you look at most work in Gulf studies, if you bother looking into like most work in Gulf studies, it kind of comes and pertains to this. I've also just accidentally closed my, no I haven't. Yeah, this is unhinged. This is unhinged.
I am a Muslim,
I like it. She gives her identity at the start.
What happened in Australia should have shattered any remaining illusions. No more. A Jewish community gathering celebrating Hanukkah was attacked. Civilians, families.
Your country blows up far more people in mosques in Sudan or aids and abets them being blown up regularly.
A religious holiday. And once again, the Jewish community were...
But tolerance, you know gay people are illegal. You can't even pull what Israel does, which saying being gay isn't illegal. Wait. It wouldn't surprise me if in the UAE you were allowed to have like a relationship if you were in private, would be their argument. But then again, it wouldn't surprise... Actually, you know what? The funny thing is Girl with a Microphone retweeted something that was about, like, tolerance in the UAE, because she's a fucking idiot. She's an idiot egg character. And, like, LGBTQ plus rights will be worse in the UAE. Like, objectively than they are in Sudan. But the way in which... sorry, in Sudan. Probably will be. But in China. But these people don't give a shit. It's literally just dunk on Hassan.
Were targeted simply for being Jews. This is not a protest. This was not a political expression. It was literally terrorism. The most dangerous lie we keep telling ourselves is that these attacks are isolated or spontaneous, random, disconnected from a wider ideology. They are not. They are part of a global pattern driven by the Muslim Brotherhood derived extremism. An idea.
I genuinely cannot believe that people find this appealing or interesting in any way. That, like, people genuinely think... Alika Le Bon does it as well. If I go back to university, this is what I'll write about.
Ideology that survives, spreads, and kills wherever it is excused. Yet some people want to call it the boogeyman. It's something like it doesn't exist, even though it's getting banned in Florida and in Texas. This is the same ideological ecosystem that produced Hamas. The same one that has embedded itself inside the SAF in Sudan.
These people are amazing. Like, what is this? They're just using it as an opportunity to whitewash the crimes of the UAE.
The same network that has been backed, exploited, and weaponized by Iran. And speaking of Sudan, it's no longer just a civil war. It is being shaped into a future terror hub, where what you saw in Australia is just the beginning. This terror hub built on weapons flows, financing routes, ideology.
He's reading a script, by the way.
Infrastructure. We have seen this movie before. We know how it ends.
Do you know what's also really funny is that, like, the UAE, through its informal money lending system, were, like, way more involved in the 9/11 attacks than, like, you know, Iraq were. Wait. There's also a great thing in this fucking Libertarian Institute. Wait. Let me read this one from 2009. A leaked State Department cable from 2009 further reinforced the view that Saudi Arabia continued to be a critical source of terrorist funding, including for Al-Qaeda. The cable stated that while the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia takes seriously the threat of terrorism within Saudi Arabia, it has been an ongoing challenge to persuade Saudi officials to treat terrorist financing emanating from Saudi Arabia as a strategic priority. What is terrorism if not what the RSF did? Like, genuinely, and I mentioned this article before. They also noted, Seymour Hersh noted this, Bin Laden had been a prisoner of the ISI, which is the Pakistani intelligence, at the Abbottabad compound since 2006, and Saudi Arabia had been financing Bin Laden's upkeep since his seizure by the Pakistanis and until his killing by US Special Forces in May 2011. By the way, want to talk about conspiracy theories? I am way more interested in shit like this. Like, why did Pakistan, a government who wasn't exactly majorly hostile to the US government, just have Osama bin Laden hanging out there? What was that all about? I don't know.
This pattern never changes. First, the ideology is normalized. Then the rhetoric is excused. Then warnings are dismissed as exaggeration. And finally,
like, that's 15 years ago, and the, like, advanced allied country is just, you know, funding like Al-Qaeda.
Finally, everyone acts shocked when civilians are murdered and killed in front of their own families. Even in the United States, like I said, this reality is being confronted. Florida and Texas have moved to ban or restrict Muslim Brotherhood-linked entities.
By the way, these guys are also loved by Tommy Robinson. They're loved by Douglas Murray. They are all deemed as, like, acceptable.
Recognizing what too many governments still refuse to admit. You cannot fight terrorism while protecting the ideology that produces it. Violence against civilians has no justification. Not in Australia, not in US, not in Sudan, not anywhere. Terrorism thrives on silence. It feeds on moral inconsistency. And it grows when people are too afraid to name the problem clearly. Jews are always targeted first, but never last. History proves this again and again. So this is the moment for clarity. The Muslim Brotherhood must be condemned.
It was ISIS!
Its networks must be dismantled, and its ideology must be banned, not rebranded, not excused, not even tolerated. Calling terrorism by its name is not extremism. It is responsibility, because Muslim Brotherhood ideology is everyone's problem.
Like, you do know that by the way, the actual reason that the UAE doesn't like the Muslim Brotherhood is nothing to do with extremism or terrorism. The sole reason that these guys don't like the Muslim Brotherhood is because they were Democrats during the Arab Spring. That is literally the sole reason that they don't like them. The UAE, you can read Courtney Freer, her name is, you can read her work about this. They didn't even really have the Muslim Brotherhood. I don't know what it's called, but you can look up her name. The UAE didn't really have a sizable Muslim Brotherhood, but they had a huge crackdown on them. The Muslim Brotherhood is really important to these people because obviously they want to maintain simultaneously their ideology of being Muslims but also demonizing Muslims.
And pretending otherwise is how we guarantee the next attack. The United Arab Emirates, one of the first Muslim Arab country to condemn this attack. You know why? Because we know who we're dealing with. We know these people thrive.
Well done. The UAE were the first to condemn this attack. What are you talking about? Literally everyone condemned this attack, like every government.
On killing and murder. They are a people of war. There's not even war. They just try to kill every civilian they see, every family they see in front of them.
Wait, who was he talking about?
We know who we're dealing with. We know these people thrive on killing and murder. They are a people of war. There's not even war. They just try to kill every civilian they see, every family they see in front of them.
This guy is such a shit propagandist.
What is the fault of the people who are trying to celebrate Hanukkah? Or the people who are just trying to live in peace? There is no fault in that. There is no wrong in doing that.
What about the families in Sudan, eh? That your country, along with Saudi Arabia, fucked up. What about those families in Bahrain that just wanted democracy, eh? What about them? What happened to them? You know? These guys just exploiting a killing in Australia to use as a means to push out their insane worldview is truly unbelievable. Like, I'm sure that they're just spamming out shit constantly. These people are horrible.
Yet they have sent 2 of their killers to kill. My condolences to the families, and I wish a swift recovery to the people who were injured but still breathing. And we stand firmly with the Australian people and the victims.
Like, this lady is tweeting, "The world failed the promise of never again." Like, directly, her country is responsible for facilitating a genocide in Sudan. Like, undeniably. This is what is argued by experts. All of her career is dedicated to denying what is going on in Sudan and using a tragedy committed by the Islamic State, not the Muslim Brotherhood, as a means to whitewash the crimes in Sudan. Oh, wait. Sorry, this is the first lady who was condemning Greta Thunberg. You chanted globalize the Jews. By the way, they all wrote these out as dog shit tweets and then posted them as videos. But what probably made them sell is woman wearing hijab make video saying Muslim Brotherhood bad, you know? I might get Ethan's basement to edit this down into into a video because it's kind of worth it talking about these guys. I'm just wondering if Amjad Taha was on, has been on anything recently. Like, no, he hasn't, unfortunately, because I'd love to see a video. I mean, Alika Lebon is just as bad. On October the 7th, the world insisted that jihadists killed Jews only because they were provoked. That logic rests on a very specific assumption, that if jihadists were not provoked, they wouldn't have killed Jews. After yesterday's terrorist attack at Bondi Beach, the world witnessed that jihadists kill Jews just for being Jewish. No supposed provocation to speak of. You know what that does to earlier logic? Eliminates it. It proves that jihadists killed Jews on October the 7th just for being Jews. Just as they kill every other ethnic minority, religious group, or unbeliever who stands in their way. That's who the world has spent 2 years defending, and that defense of murderers is exactly why the chickens came home to roost. Wow. Guys, go check out my old video about Alika Lebon. She is brilliant. Oh, fucking hell. This woman is awful. Also, I don't think we're going to get to cover the Turtle Island Liberation Front today, so I'm going to take that out the title. We've been live for nearly 3 hours already. We're going to do some more Venezuela stuff now, because I think that that's kind of the end of that, because it doesn't seem like Amjad Taha has been up to anything. Actually, you want to see something cool? So Sudanese fans were celebrating with Morocco yesterday, Moroccan fans, in Doha after the 3-0 win over the UAE. What are they chanting? What are they chanting about? No. That's how Alika Lebon speaks. She goes like, Iran is where the Shah is from. No. We'll do the Turtle Island Liberation Front tomorrow. I'd be careful spamming base, though, if you're an American. I would be very, very, very careful. Like, also, by the way, the account that we just looked at Zayed International Airport in Abu Dhabi, I was approached by an employee accompanied by military men 4 times after I went through security control for random checks. In the end, they asked me to either remove or cover my Palestina FC t-shirt. Why are you just typing Israelians? Why are you typing Israelians over and over again? They are mocking them for losing 3-0. Amazing. I like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at, like, to see if there's any more idiotic UAE stuff before we finish this segment. But honestly, these propagandists are so despicable. And once again, most people would never engage with the fact that, like, their ideology and the things that they believe in and support destabilize countries, throw them in under dictatorships, and lead to extreme violence because they don't give a shit. They pretend to, but their entire worldview is understood through they know a tiny bit about how to justify violence in Gaza. And that, about how to support, like, why everyone is pro-Hamas. So any Muslim, they love it. What are you talking about in the UAE? I mean, I've heard that there's been, like, repression of some Palestine-related solidarity, but, like, generally the UAE is undeniably an authoritarian country. But yeah, I think that's where we'll end this segment. It's amazing watching people use this for such a justification. Oh wait, actually, there's such an interesting story about this. Apparently, The UAE is alleged to have stolen dragon blood trees native only to the island of Socotra. The looted trees all perished when they attempted to replant them in the UAE. These are like ancient trees that were taken by the UAE. I've seen this mentioned by multiple people and reputable sources. But yeah, they back separatists in Yemen. Yeah, they want to divide the country. They back Haftar in Libya. They are not good. Right, goodness me, that was a long-ass segment. That's so fucked up. Yeah, they're beautiful trees. Look at them when they're in flower. They're crazy. Look at that. That's a painting, actually, is it? It looks like a painting almost. No, it's not even a painting. It just looks like one. It's so vibrant. Yeah, they are thousands of years old, these trees, and they were taken. But yeah. So what I wanted to talk about is there's been another airstrike by there's been another airstrike, by the way, by America on Venezuelan boats. The US military kill at least 8 in their latest strike, which is, you know, unsurprising. It's unsurprising, and the fact that there's, nearly 100 people have died. And then the other update is Trinidad and Tobago have installed a radar for US intervention in Venezuela, and they've authorized the US to use its airspace and airports. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about is the opposition leader, because she is truly amazing. Now, according to Medium, how true this is, I don't know, because I don't really trust polls. I'll get it from the actual source. It's in Spanish is the only reason I've not used the actual source. Don't know if this is a pro-Maduro thing. 91% of Venezuelans have a net unfavorable opinion of Maria Machado. The poll, which included 1,200 interviews and reported a margin of error for 3%, places Machado with a significantly higher rejection rate than in the rest of the country. Now, I don't know whether it's true. Polls in authoritarian countries are not really good. So, you know, it might not be great. But I think, like, listening to her speak is just truly amazing.
Trump said that land strike.
I wonder if Sophie's here. Sophie, did you have the opportunity to do this?
To stop drug trafficking specifically will start soon. He has been saying that for weeks. Do you know what he is talking about? And has he promised you anything?
No, I don't know. And well, if I knew, I wouldn't say it, of course, but it's not the case. We are not involved, and we will not get involved into another nation's policy for their own national security.
But would you welcome U.S. military action?
I will welcome more and more pressure so that Maduro understands that he has to go, that his time is over. And I will insist.
By the way, this woman absolutely does not give a singular, solitary shit about any Venezuelan. She is the most disingenuous person to have chosen as, like, the face and leader of the opposition. Going into Venezuela, I saw since folks from the UK on their travel channel, and the peeps they interacted with did not seem overly oppressed. I mean, like, look, undeniably, Maduro has, like, not had free and fair elections. The funny part that will also make this woman so unappealing is that she continually claims that, like, Chavez also was exactly like this, that he was, like, totally unpopular, that he was really bad, which is just objectively untrue. Also, I think there's a high chance that she is not a very democratic person, especially if the Americans do this. Sophie, what an honor to meet Marina Machado, Nobel Prize winner.
Something that I've said several times before. This is not conventional regime change. This cannot be compared to other cases like countries in the Middle East. We had an election. Mm-hmm. Regime change was already mandated by over 70% of the population. And what we need is support to enforce that decision.
Well, how do you square military action with receiving a peace prize? Are we at the point it's
Well,
necessary?
What we're fighting for is precisely freedom in order to have democracy, and democracy in order to have peace.
And also, anyone who's been talking about war on terror, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this woman is such a bad advocate for, like, the opposition in Venezuela, because it is so abstract to just be like, we need freedom, and freedom gives you democracy. None of these concepts worked. And she's like, no, this isn't like regime change in the Middle East. But it's like, what are you talking about here?
And in order to maintain freedom and to achieve freedom, you do need strength. The contrary would be the peace of the dead, in which you have a country under absolute, oppression and simply given in. And that's not the case. It's absolutely absurd that you see a regime, a criminal regime like Maduro, that gets support from Russia or from Iran, and then as a Venezuelan people not to ask support from democratic countries and democratic leaders. That's absolute absurd. We do not.
Like, once again, Iran, okay, yeah, sure, dictatorial country, interferes in other countries in the Middle East. America is objectively worse in terms of its foreign policy.
We have arms. We have our will. We have the power of organization and the power of love, which at the end, I have to say that peace is ultimately an act of love.
I'm starting to really like her. Now, the best one, though, is this. Sorry, excuse me, I got the hiccups. $1 trillion opportunity. $1 trillion opportunity. The global upside of a democratic Venezuela. Maria, oh my God, Machado. So we're going to listen to this because it's like 10 minutes.
To foster a thriving business environment. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Andres Kluski. I'm the chairman of the Council of the Americas, and it's an honor to welcome you this morning as we commemorate our 60th anniversary, a milestone that speaks of our enduring mission, which is to foster a thriving business environment across the Americas and to stand firmly in support of democratic values. For 6 decades, this council has brought together leaders from government, business, and civil society, always with the conviction that prosperity, openness, and liberty go hand in hand. Today, we gather not only to celebrate that legacy, but to look ahead to what may be one of the most consequential economic and political opportunities of our time. As Venezuela prepares for a new chapter, a team of committed leaders led by Maria Corina Machado has outlined a $1.6 trillion value creation strategy to rebuild the country's economy, institutions.
This is truly the power of love. You are right. This is what love means. Going and selling your country out to bring about freedom and love. I'm not quite sure, but she's doing it.
And global standing. This is a serious, structured vision grounded in legal reforms, energy transition, infrastructure, and the reestablishment of trust, both among Venezuelans and with international partners. This transition will not be simple, but the foundations for a democratic and open Venezuela are being laid now. And for you in this room, investors, strategists, and partners in this transformation, you have a chance to be part of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will reshape the region.
It is honestly such odd framing. Machado's trip to Oslo is also being framed as a harrowing one, even though there was most likely CIA involvement. I mean, yeah, and like all of these things where she was like this peaceful, loving woman, she's like very, very, very far right. Right, and like what Trump wants for the country is not to bring about democracy. And the fact that like she is just here selling it to like as a $1.6 trillion economic opportunity is amazing.
The Council of the Americas was created for moments like this.
Like it just feels really odd optics wise, but then I guess it kind of factors into that thing of like she's not saying this in Spanish.
when values and opportunities allow. Now I'd like to share a short video with you.
I'm going to mute this in case the sound's copyrighted. I'll do like an audio voiceover. The scene shows a red hat and a white hat, a shattered economy with unmatched potential. And there are now some skyscrapers amongst a rather red hue in the sky. Someone holds a Venezuelan flag. It's now a city, now some hills, green hills, some flamingos playing in the water, oil refineries, more oil refineries, an oil tanker, I believe. A satellite shot of Venezuela proceeded with a zoom out to the world. And, wait, is there...
To the Panama Canal and Europe, Venezuela will open one of the most extraordinary investment opportunities in the emerging world across sectors.
Okay, so it's basically just talking about investment opportunities. Oh, that's a cargo ship. My dear, sincerest apologies. Here's Maria. Maria! The music informs the imagery. Sector by sector, 1 point...
Venezuela offers stretching...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
See.
I just want to get
Venezuela
some Machado.
Okay, now it's my distinct privilege to introduce the woman at the forefront of this vision.
What is this lady in the corner doing? Am I covering her? She's just constantly eating. Have some respect. Maria's calling in.
A leader of courage, clarity, and deep commitment to Venezuela's future, Maria Corina Machado.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you so much. Well, thank you all for joining this very special conversation, and special thanks to the Council of the Americas, Aquí Alayo, the democracy in the Americas, and very especially in Venezuela. And of course, I am very grateful to its chairman, Andrés Plusky, its president, Susan Segal, and Guillermo Subillaga, true friends of our cause. Today, Venezuela stands on the brink of a historic transformation, offering the greatest opportunity for democracy, security, and investment in Latin America.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about her plastic surgery is that it makes her smile look really odd.
In decades, the impact of Venezuelans' liberation will reach across the entire hemisphere. While much has been said about the damage inflicted by 26 years of communist and criminal tyranny and the threats Maduro poses, little attention has been given to the immense wealth generation potential of a democratic Venezuela.
It's so odd. It is so odd to like go, yeah, we'll get democratic and then this will do like really good things for wealth generation.
And this opportunity extends beyond our borders. It reaches the entire hemisphere and investors who will benefit from unparalleled conditions starting on day one.
You would think that the more important thing to talk about as the leader of, like, you know, the popular, legitimate, democratic future of Venezuela would be, the important thing here is, you know, the people of Venezuela. And it's just like, nah, I think you should all invest in our country.
And this potential isn't limited to oil and gas, though Venezuela boasts the world's largest oil reserves and the 8th largest natural gas reserves. And also we have abundant iron, gold, minerals, vast freshwater resources, 30 million hectares of fertile, undeveloped land, and 2.8 thousand kilometers of stunning Caribbean coastline.
I'm sure that all of these things are actually really going to benefit the Venezuelan people.
Beyond natural resources, Venezuela's strategic location, just days by sea from the U.S. coast and year-round tropical climate, are significant advantages. Our existing infrastructure, a legacy of public investment.
I'm starting to really like her. I like just how matter-of-fact she is. I mean, when she actually talks about anything serious, you know, Like democracy, freedom, all the shit she says makes no sense because freedom is a very, very loose concept. Like, what does it mean? Who defines freedom? But what I find fantastic is where she just talks about Venezuela as a business opportunity.
For Chavez getting to power remains substantial despite years of neglect. Roads, services, ports, airports, and 16.9 gigawatts of electrical power capacity are still in place. We won't be starting from scratch. Moderate investments can quickly reactivate enormous productive capacity. These extraordinary conditions.
Oh, I mean, anytime she talks about Venezuelan oil reserves, her face can't help but put on the biggest fuck me eyes at the idea of it. 100%. Like, it's not just that she knows she is going to get very, very rich if she is enabled to do this. The grubby deals that she is going to be cutting with Trump if this happens. Oh my word. She is going to be having generational wealth. You should be listening to this as a business opportunity. I'm sitting my ass down and I'm learning from a real Venezuelan dissident.
Could have spurred monumental development under any reasonable government. Instead, Venezuela is mired in poverty and crime, ranking lowest globally on rule of law, carrying defaulted debt equivalent to 2.5 times its annual GDP, and experiencing severe economic paralysis. Only a rational, reliable development model rooted in a democratic and free Venezuela can unlock this unprecedented wealth creation. Beyond structural conditions, current incentives support a rapid, orderly, and irreversible transformation. First of all, our people. The failure of socialism is clear. My strong open market and privatization proposal garnered 93% of votes in the primary. Today, our united population fully supports comprehensive reforms, aligning with Western values of dignity, private property, freedom, and family.
Guys, if you get private property, everything is going to be so much better. It's going to be amazing once you get private property in Venezuela. Like, freedom, what is this? What is this?
Secondly, our diaspora. Our greatest asset is our people, including 8 million Venezuelans abroad, ready to return, invest, and rebuild.
One of the interesting things, though, that I guess you guys were wanting me to talk about, and maybe I'll mention briefly here, is huge amounts of those Venezuelans, in my understanding, someone corrected me on this the other day, are in Chile, and Cast winning in Chile, he's been inciting against the Venezuelans, because obviously, just like Trump, Venezuelans are great propaganda tools to be like, look, this is all about drugs. These Venezuelans just love giving us drugs. The Venezuelans are giving us fentanyl.
Will harness their talent as well. Thirdly, what I call the paradox of technological backwardness. Years of neglect made Venezuela.
Oh my God, she's going to give the kids iPads. I liked your resident Venezuela, Code Machado.
Can directly adopt cutting-edge technologies, bypassing older, less efficient systems and accelerating development. Fourth, another paradox.
These people are even bored at this. They're like, God, are you going to talk about anything about just, selling off your country?
This one of the things.
Actually, in fact, they're licking their lips. In fact, they're just licking their lips and they're like, we don't give a shit about you. We're just going to bribe you and you're going to give us everything.
Institutional destruction, because the collapse of inefficient and corrupt institutions can paradoxically clear the path for streamlining reforms and new investments by removing bureaucratic obstacles and resistance to change. And finally, nearshoring and global value chains. Venezuela's proximity to key markets, abundant resources, and competitive labor costs position it to attract foreign investment and integrate into regional supply chains, becoming a crucial link in the Americas' production and distribution networks. Conditions like these rarely converge all at once, offering us the chance to go from scorched earth to...
Wait, sorry. I saw something. Make America safe again. Donald Trump designated or signed an executive order designating fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. This is amazing. This is like, this is unbelievable. Because I was about to ask you, don't you think it's like, ask you guys, don't you think it's a bit funny, like how fucking half-hearted they've been with the whole like war on terror, like this drugs thing? Like, yeah, they've mentioned it, and you know, she's constantly like, Iran and Venezuela, Iran and Hezbollah, they're taking over my country, they're ruining it, oh no. But he's signing a thing saying fentanyl is a weapon of mass destruction. This is amazing. Venezuela doesn't even make the fentanyl, and yet they're going to say that it's a weapon of mass destruction and that Maduro is wielding it to destroy America.
Full growth. But most importantly, we have the plan and the team's ready. Our detailed plan covers the first 100 days, the first year, and beyond, with teams prepared to address urgent crises while initiating structural changes that will prioritize: 1, rule of law and institutional framework. We will establish rule of law and independent institutions guaranteeing property rights, contract enforcement, and legal certainty. 2nd, macroeconomic stability. Sound fiscal and monetary policies are paramount. We're committed to rebuild trust in our currency, reducing inflation and ensuring fiscal balance. 3, regulatory environment and business climate. We will create clear, stable, and transparent regulatory frameworks for thriving businesses.
Oh, it's just the biggest load of crap. Hello, Tony Soprano lover.
Our administration will be pro-business, pro-investment, and focused on created value and jobs. 4, the role of the private sector. We are shifting from state control to a private sector-driven economy.
By the way, this is the worst idea imaginable for the Venezuelan people. Like, genuinely. This woman, I have no doubt, will engage in huge amounts of corruption, cronyism, because Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in American history, which is saying something. This guy is so corrupt. He is going to cut so many ridiculous deals. He is going to get her so rich, and they are simultaneously going to sell off state assets. And I'll tell you who won't be having a great time: the Venezuelan people.
With public-private partnerships, privatizations, and open competition becoming the norm. And 5, international financial institutions and partnerships. We value the technical and financial support of multilateral organizations, the IMF, the World Bank, and the IDB, as essential partners for financing, capacity building, sustainable reforms, and restoring credibility. This plan, leadership, and team will unlock an unprecedented economic opportunity of over $1.7 trillion over the next 15 years.
To be fair to her, she's learned how to speak Trump's language of just saying huge amounts of money for everyone. Yeah, I mean, boss girl gone destroy the economy 100%. There are very clear examples of this kind of stuff. I mean, I guess it's perhaps not as state-owned as in the case of Egypt, but like Egypt, and it's called the Infatah, the opening, economic opening, Middle East. I always get this wrong. Infatah. Infatah. No, I did get it right. The Infatah was like an economic disaster. Policy of opening the door to private investment in Egypt in the years after the Yom Kippur War. You can read about the destructive capacity in this in a book which is probably behind me. No, it's not. The book that's behind me, the red one, The People Want, is, you can't see it, but it's up there. The People Want, it talks a lot about this as like a terrible economic decision.
Transforming Venezuela from the criminal hub of the Americas into the energy hub of the Americas. With the world's largest proven oil reserves, vast natural gas fields, and major hydroelectric infrastructure, we will power our recovery and we will power the region. Our future is more than extraction. It's about transformation, integration, and global contribution. With the region's largest, cheapest.
She's clearly rehearsed this speech, but not well enough that it looks sincere and heartfelt. I think it's kind of hard to make it look heartfelt when it's basically, I will sell off my country to you. Like, it's not a sincere desire to improve the country.
And cleanest energy supply, Venezuela will build a highly competitive technology hub for digital entrepreneurship, smart infrastructure, and scalable tech innovation. We have quantified this transformation across 12 highly competitive sectors, though many others also hold immense potential. Certainly, the benefits for Venezuela and the region will extend far beyond economic value. For instance, the destruction of education and health systems represent an
I don't know much about the 2014 stuff, but it looks really interesting.
Opportunity to leapfrog into state-of-the-art, open and innovative social sectors.
Right, you've heard enough of her. This is all this woman talks about, just selling off the country. You know what? At least she's frank and honest. There was a decent article in the New York Times, by the way, as well, which I recommend checking out if you guys want to read something about Trump. Really interesting, really interesting stuff. Collapse. No, thank you. Venezuela's oil is a focus of Trump's campaign against Maduro. So this is where I got this video from, because they were talking about it on here. They mentioned like how she's, you know, just talking about a $1.7 trillion economic opportunity for people. But yeah, this article just kind of talks about how she's saying this, and Trump is just claiming all this stuff about it being a drug producer, but it's not, according to the New York Times. Apparently, in secret negotiations between Trump and Maduro about oil, and in a conversation that Trump's aides and allies have had with Miss Machado and other Venezuelan opposition figures, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. Mr. Trump has publicly made clear his interest in his control of Venezuela's oil reserves. Like, just, yeah. Wait, is the speech here? Yeah, I mean, amazing that this is the world in which we live. When I left Venezuela, I mean, you've all heard these quotes, just him talking about how Venezuela was ready to collapse. There was one bit that I wanted to read, though. Apparently, Mr. Maduro offered Trump opening up the country's oil industry to Americans beyond the limited access given to Chevron, but Trump was not interested in that, and apparently it's Rubio and the other hawks there. Now, the reason for that is because he's Cuban, and he's Cuban-American, and they are constantly interested in trying to incite regime change wherever they can, the group of, like, right-wing Cubans that are around him. But yeah, I mean, amazing things are happening over in Venezuela. This is just entirely about Trump and his cronies enriching themselves. Like, I'm really hopeful for the future. Just honestly, the most insane shit imaginable. Oh wait, there was one other thing I wanted to cover on this topic. Oh wait, no. There isn't. I think that's probably kind of it for everything I wanted to cover today. It's not been the busiest of news days again. I mean, it's just more of the Bondi Beach shooting. Is there anything else that I want to talk about? I guess we can talk about here. So what actually happened in this 2014 protest, Venezuela? Or, well, I mean, I don't know if you'd call them. Al Jazeera always shows violence, and I can't show AP. There aren't many great videos about Venezuela on YouTube, unfortunately. I wish there was more to watch, but there just isn't. Is there anything else I wanted to cover? There was a good video, but I didn't want to watch it. It remains to be seen what Trump will actually do. It kind of looked like a major escalation the other day, but then it kind of slowed down. Oh, wait. Wait. Naz Daily. Wait. Actually, this looks like an interesting thing that we could do. Naz Daily is filming videos about Israel this week.
In my country, it takes 3 minutes to get an ambulance. The fastest in the world. Let me show you how this system works. In many countries, when you call for help, you wait for an ambulance and a doctor. But ambulances are slow and doctors are busy. But in Israel, they don't just rely on doctors, they rely on volunteers. There are more than 30,000 trained volunteers, 10 times the paid staff. They are teachers, students,
I really like that he's just using AI slop to do this, right?
shopkeepers. This system is called Magen David Adom. It was designed to respond to terror attacks, natural disasters, and medical emergencies anywhere in the country. When you call for help, the National Emergency System uses GPS to find the closest volunteer to you. If your neighbor is a volunteer, he comes running.
Is this really a good system? Like, is this really a good idea? Like, just having people who aren't that well-trained paramedics? I think the UK has something similar, right? Is St. John's Ambulance, like, how does St. John's Ambulance operate? It's a charity. I don't know. I'm guessing it's not, actually. Which provide first aid education, products and services, as well as medical emergency services. No, St. John's Ambulance is something different.
If the shopkeeper is a volunteer, she comes running.
What is this video?
And they don't just run, they ride this. It's an ambulance on a motorcycle. It has all the equipment of an ambulance, but it doesn't get stuck in traffic. It goes on the sidewalk.
What is this stupid video?
It goes between...
Yeah, they had... it was Zaka on October the 7th. No, I don't think the Goon Platoon requires very, 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 very high levels of stuff. And it really does. For Naz Daily, who has a huge media organization, to be making videos like this is amazing.
In cars, it goes where no car can go. It arrives in minutes to stop the bleeding. And then an ambulance takes you to the hospital. And the best part, the people. In this organization, politics do not exist. You see Jews saving Muslims, Muslims saving Jews.
I'm a Muslim. I'm so proud to be part of an organization that saves lives.
They wear the same vest. They ride the same bike and save the same humans. They prove that blood is the same color, no matter who you pray to and what.
The Naz Daily's week-long propaganda campaign is so funny. Like, objectively, Israel is such a racist country. By the way, there have been, like, multiple beatings that haven't really received much attention inside Israel by, like, Israelis of just Palestinians. There are regularly videos of bus drivers being targeted. And, by the way, the same week that he's releasing this video, or a week before, Israel's Minister of National Security wore a pin that literally said... that had a noose on it in reference to executing terrorists.
Your politics are. This happens every single minute. And 3 minutes. While you were watching this video, a volunteer showed up to help someone in need. This is the power of community.
Do you think there was like some time limit that he's getting paid for this? Does he work with the Israeli government? Do you think that this is what they've spent the $750 million on?
Every country should copy this and build an emergency system that saves lives.
Thank you, Naz Daly. He got an award from the ADL not long ago, so that's exciting. Don't ask why Israel keeps refusing to build a single public hospital in Arab towns, or why it's actively trying to import doctors from India and Russia to reduce its dependence. By the way, this is something that Israel has long done, and something that Mamdani's dad wrote about. Israel manipulates certain professions and industries to prevent the amount of Palestinians that work within them. I hope this propaganda campaign doesn't stop, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll go on. Okay, he's got a video about the billion-dollar startup country. I'm sure this is gold.
Top countries with billion-dollar startups, and you'll never guess number one. It's not the United Kingdom, it's not the United States even, and it's not Singapore. It's a small country with $5 billion startups for every 1 million citizens. I flew there.
All of Israel's fucking startups are definitely as well just fucking like defense industry stuff. Like things that are basically pertain to surveilling and abusing Palestinians. I mean, Epstein was pretty involved with this stuff, so I guess this is kind of a
creates unicorns.
Wow, thank you, Naz Daly. I've learnt so much about Israel from your video. Wow. I truly can't believe that. Yeah, I mean, not all the oil off Gaza. No, they haven't got that yet, no. And also, no fault loans from, you know, over from America. That might be helpful, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's a helpful thing. But yeah, I guess that's the end of the stream because I don't really have anything else that I wanted to start doing. Wait, I don't think Waze is doing that, isn't it? That Waymo. Waymo are the robot taxis, no? But yeah, I think that's probably going to be the end of the stream. No live tomorrow. Live on Thursday again, unless there's big news tomorrow, but it's been a little slow for a few days, but we move. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for all your donations and support, as always. Go and check out other videos on my channel if you'd like. There'll probably be a VOD up soon. Thank you again for coming. Thank you again for supporting. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And yeah, see you guys soon. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And yeah, see you guys.